And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And I don't know where to start. First of all, thank you for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. Couldn't do it without you. We got to talk about Trevor Noah being out over at the Daily Show on Comedy Central. Now, did he quit voluntarily? Was he forced out? What's going on with that? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, did you guys hear that interview with the climate activist Izzy Cook from New Zealand? And then the radio host falling out laughing hysterically? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, shout out to New York City Mayor Eric Adams dissing Kansas. I may have already covered that on the previous live show, but that was a topic we got to talk about. It's like, why diss Kansas? Why not just say that you like New York? We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Also, shout out to Abba and Preach for bringing this video to my attention. Jordan B. Peterson, he was on with Piers Morgan talking about what he was calling incels. I think that term is used in a pejorative way, and it's unfair to people that are just struggling with certain things, with men that are struggling with certain things. You know, they say, oh, well, hey, men, why don't you be more transparent with your feelings, bare your soul? But then if you cry one Indian too, they want to call you a loser and a coward and an incel. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you enjoyed what you have heard thus far, if you enjoyed the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Also, this is a podcast you're listening to live, and it'll be available on audio only on your favorite audio streaming platforms at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern time. So for example, today, Saturday, and tomorrow will be Sunday, of course. This will be available Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you get your audio streams from, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Links for all these things will be in the description box. You can check it out right there. And when you're over there, give me a 5-star rating, give me a review, do whatever you can to support that particular platform. And again, links for all these things will be in the box, or just pop up your favorite app, search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, we got sponsors. You know, my websites, they're going to just get done first. We got anthonyblogan.com. If you have not gone to the website, please do so. And I always update it with articles from each video. So whenever I do a video, I write a corresponding article. I write other articles myself. So if you see any typos or whatever, mind your business. Just enjoy the articles. And you can also find sources. I cite my sources for everything that I write, everything that I do. So you can't just say I made it up. If I say it's my opinion, that's a different thing. But if I say, hey, this happened, and then that happened, I'm able to prove it with sources from all over the place, left, right, independent, whatever you want, local, national, international, whatever it is. I got it on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact, to find my email address, my snail mail address. You can send me things in my P.O. box. You can also find me on my social media platforms. I have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I've been bullied into getting TikTok. I've been at TikTok, but I never really posted on it. But I have it. I'm not ready to really promote it yet because I'm not using it. But I do have a TikTok. So if anybody contacts you from TikTok or anywhere else, matter of fact, let's pause right here. If anyone contacts you from TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere, and says, hey, man, you want to make money? You want to get into Forex? You want to get into stock trading? Please, please, please do not give them your personal information. Do not give them your phone number. Do not give them anything. Do not respond to them at all. That is not me. I promise I would never contact you talking about you want to make money with some kind of scammy stuff. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. That's a PSA, public service announcement, because I don't want to see nobody get scammed. Okay, if you're sending $1 million to some Nigerian prince who lives in Waco, Texas, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't come to me talking about, hey man, that Nigerian prince took all my money. Please, please, please do not get scammed. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. If you have any questions, everything's right there on the website. And of course, go to ABLmerch.com, ABLmerch.com. We had hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. Check it on out, ABLmerch.com. If you want the beautiful flags that are right behind me, go to BHEdesigns.com. And if you want some really good information, really solid news, a good source of news, go to patriotpost.us. And all these things will be in the description. Now, somebody's saying, can we call now? I'll let you know when the calls are available. The call's not available right now. I'll get to the calls at about 9:30 p.m. Eastern. But as soon as the calls are available, I'll be like, hey, the phone lines are open. But as of right now, the phone lines are not open. All right. And I saw Austin. Shout out to you, Austin. You went to a Buc-ee's, thought about me. Hey, man, the Buc-ee's, hey, man, it's getting to be an issue with me because every time I go to Atlanta, it's right there, right on the way, right at Calhoun. So it's like, I got to go there. At this point, I might as well get a subscription to Buc-ee's, okay? Just like Netflix or something like that. I have some crazy subscriptions, and I think that's the model going forward. Is what they want to do, put you on subscription so you forget about it. It's to the point where I saw a subscription for PF Chain, the restaurant. It's like, really? A subscription to a restaurant? But I can't really talk. I have a subscription to a car wash. I pay a monthly subscription to a car wash. So when I roll up in there, I can just go straight through. They got like a little a reader. It's on my windshield, so I can just pull up and I'm good. Yep, get all that bug gum off my truck, and we good. So I go there probably once a week. So it makes sense. But that's kind of a crazy subscription to have. Never did I think as a kid that I would be subscribed to a car wash. All right. I thought maybe we had flying cars, but yet here we are buying subscriptions to car washes, to restaurants, to pretty much everything. It's crazy. But yeah, shout out to Buc-ee's though. That's one place I most certainly get a subscription to, for real. I be there like it's Walmart, like it's a Food Line or something like that. It's crazy. So yeah, now we got quite a few topics on deck. I see you, Joe Davis. You got a green screen. Shout out to the green screen. Yeah, I have a green screen, but the thing about green screens is that it's difficult to make them look the way you want with the lighting. To get all the green out, it's kind of hard to do that with the, and I got a nice camera. This is a mirrorless actual DSLR. It's not a webcam, but even still, the lighting is always an issue. I got 3 lights in here on. I don't need this one. Hold on. I'm doing too much with this one. So I had a little panel light right there that I normally have, a small LED panel light. Then I got these 2 big, I don't know what you call these, soft boxes. And then I got my regular lighting above me. It's a whole lot going on. But anyway, I digress. We got a lot of topics on deck for tonight. And if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Jack Smith says, what's up, ABL? Love the shorts you do as well. Good stuff, man. Thank you for that. I'm going to do a lot more of the shorts. I did one about the the microphone that looked kind of, suspicious with the cover on it that they chose to put on it. So I just like comedy. I just like cracking jokes. So I may do more. I'm going to do more of those. Because right when I saw that picture, I did that one just for fun. Like I could have done that, not even posted it, and still it would have made the same effect for me. So I'll do more of those for sure. And that's probably the way that we're going. That's why I have TikTok, although I don't really use it, is because I know eventually people are going to want that content. The only thing about TikTok is that it's Chinese. But what isn't Chinese nowadays? I mean, you getting your cell phones made in China. How are you gonna stop them from putting some kind of bug or some kind of backdoor thing in your phone that can spy on you that way? It's a mess out here nowadays. I know we gotta find some kind of way. We gotta find some kind of way to innovate and create new ways of security. So all of our data is not just out there for the ravenous wolves to consume. Yeah, we gotta kind of tighten it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the short. I will do more of those for sure. Where it's me talking and sometimes where it's just clips. Now, speaking about funny. Oh, and somebody says test 1 2 3 says TikTok is banned in India. TikTok is banned in China, actually. They have their own version of TikTok in China, but it's not the TikTok that we see. Their TikTok is called Douyin. But Douyin is not TikTok. Douyin it's a clone of TikTok. It's from the same company. It's from a Chinese company, but they have more uplifting stories on there. They don't really have stuff like hot dog eating contests, ridiculous Western stuff. They have kids on there accomplishing great feats of engineering. There was one TikTok where they threw a surprise party for their teacher, really nice stuff like that. They got some nonsense as well, but not as much as they give the West, because they understand the influence of social media. They understand the influence of influencers, and they want to keep a lot of the societal decay to a minimum. But over here in the West, we get the full thrust of the most ridiculous stuff on that platform. All right. So that lets you know that they know that these things did make a difference. They most certainly make a difference. They know that a lot of the stuff that we see is damaging us, especially the younger generation. Yeah. So this is a big part of the reason, not the only reason, of course. This is a big part of the reason why I've tried to run a clean show here. No cursing. People calling in. If you are, tore out the frame, 3 sheets to the wind, drunk as a skunk, you pretty much you lost in the sauce. If that's going on, I try to get you off the phone sometimes. I want to have a nice, clean, family-friendly show, because in so many places in society, you cannot find a clean, family-friendly show. You can't find it. Go to Netflix, Degenerate Central. Like I said, I'm watching high fantasy show. I'm expecting Harry Potter. I'm getting Harry Knuckles and some big Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Rey Mysterio, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels. I'm getting one of these dudes prancing around in some cowboy boots and a Halloween dress on. You understand what I'm saying? That's not really my cup of tea at all. And I know that a lot of kids are watching it and they're confused. They're like, mommy, why is this man looking like he could wrestle in 1987, okay, for WWF, right alongside Undertaker and Paul Heyman? Why does he look like he has on a dress and he has makeup on over a beard? What's going on here? 5 o'clock shadow with blush on it. What's happening? It's confusing, very confusing. So I try to have a nice family-friendly show that everybody could watch without fearing that I'm going to do something crazy. All right. So that's kind of what that is. So shout out to you guys that watch with your whole family. I'm glad you feel safe knowing that I have your best interests at heart. So thank you for that. That means a lot to me. All right. But now, what did I want to talk about first? I kind of get lost. So I think I'm going to talk about Jordan Peterson first. Now, I don't want to be too heavy here, so I'm going to try to make it be as light as possible. But Jordan Peterson is a really good guy. Jordan Peterson has saved many lives with his book. And don't get me the line and tell you the name of the book, but you guys know what it is. What's it, the 12 Steps? Hold on, let me just look it up right quick. Is it 12 Steps? Something. 12 Rules for Life. There we go. So there's a poster. There's a book, obviously. I think the full title is 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. From 2018, it's a self-help book. Now, there's been many self-help gurus over the years. A lot of self-help guys over the years. A lot of them have turned out to be frauds. But I think Jordan Peterson really, really means well and is trying to make a difference in the world. He really is. And for that, he gets all types of negative criticism that's not really warranted, in my opinion. Okay. So let me see. All right. So this might be the poster. This might be the actual rules. Let me make sure I got it right here. I think it is. So here are some of the rules that he has on the poster. I think they came from the book. Let me go ahead and put it up on the screen. If this is incorrect, y'all please let me know. All right, so 12 rules for life. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Treat yourself like you are responsible for helping. Like someone you're responsible for helping, okay. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. That's interesting. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. That's the whole clean your room. The clean your room, that particular thing right there, that was big because one thing I see, let me come back here right quick. One thing I see a lot is people as adults that have the most disgusting room. And it's like, if I see that, then I know something's going on with you mentally. Something's wrong with you mentally. And if you're able to actually take the steps necessary to keep your room clean, then you're able to really go forward a lot in life. As an adult, if your room isn't clean, then how are you really going to be able to maintain other things in your life? Not just your finances, but I'm talking about personal relationships, anything. When you can't even keep your own room clean. And I'm talking about, like me personally, I'm a neat freak. So my room, you can eat pizza off the floor and it's carpeted, okay? You can eat pizza off the floor and my floor is carpeted. It's so clean that you probably wouldn't get no carpet strands on your pizza. You understand what I'm saying? If the cheese touches the pizza, if the cheese touches the carpet floor, it'll be all right. It probably won't be no dust bunny or nothing. I'm that kind of clean. I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm a pretty clean person. Go to my bathroom, put your pancakes right there on the towel and eat it and you'll be good to go. All right? Again, exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to be like me. However, if you have just a mountain of filth in your room, you know what they say in some of these shows, right? Like in the hoarding shows, when somebody has a mountain of garbage all over the place, the main thing they do is send them to a psychotherapist, psychologist, psychiatric place to get the mind worked on. Because if you got hoarding going on, that's a mental issue. All right. And I watch hoarders. It gets kind of gross sometimes, but I watch it just to see kind of what's going on with people in their mind. And they almost always start crying, carrying on. Like it's literal trash, literal trash with no other purpose but to be trash. And when people are taking it away, they start crying, boo-hooing. It doesn't make any sense, but you got to understand when somebody's mentally not all the way right, they're going to have that kind of reaction. That's what that is. So the whole clean your room thing for Jordan Peterson was really big, really, really big. Now we got some more rules here. All right. And hold on one second. Let me get it right here. Okay. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. That's a good one. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something that you don't. Okay, one more time. Assume that the person you're talking to might know something that you don't. Okay, so talk to them just like regular. Don't try to hold back. Don't try to play them. Just talk regular. Don't try to play no games. Be precise in your speech. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. Okay, random one right there. Is that from the book? I've not read the book. I just heard about the book. I knew about certain things from it, but I hadn't read it. So y'all, if this is not right, let me know. The one thing I knew was clean your room. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Okay, I ain't touching no cat though, because people, they got cat allergies. I ain't trying to bring no sneezing and coughing in my life. But I think overall, his book and Jordan Peterson in general has helped a lot of young men. From the talks online, the podcasts and whatnot, he's helped quite a few young men. And shout out to Abba and Preach for putting this video up. That was really good. It kind of just caught me off guard. I happened to be on my YouTube just kind of scrolling, and then I come across their page. I'm subscribed to them, if I'm not mistaken. I came across their page, and then they had this video up where they played like the entire first part of the interview without interruption, and then they commented on it. It was good. It was very good. Matter of fact, hold on. I don't want to play the whole thing here. It's like almost 3 minutes long. So just for sake of time, I'll play the first part. But it's very good. And I like how, hold on. I don't want to say I like how. I don't like how, I don't like how Piers Morgan characterized a lot of young men who were struggling with life. Losers and whatnot is weird because you know what they say with men. Oh, you guys, you need to know how to cry more, be more emotionally expressive. Don't be so closed off. Don't be so hard and all this and that and the third. But the moment you cry, if you cry one tear one little Indian tear. Oh, you coward, you pathetic loser, incel. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Here I am being vulnerable to you guys as you suggested I should. Now I'm all of a sudden some kind of loser. I need to, get a life, and I'm soft and I'm a weak, pathetic. Wait a minute. What's going on here? It's crazy. So let's go ahead and roll some of this. And again, this is from Abba and Preach. This video will be on my website. Also, if you go to the YouTube page, you'll find it there. Good video. You can hear their perspective as well at the end of the clip. It goes for like 2 minutes and change, and then they chime in with their particular 2 cents. And I've not watched theirs. One thing about YouTubers, I don't watch many YouTubers that do the same kind of thing I do or talk about similar topics, because I don't want to have their thought process get into my mind. So when I'm talking, I don't write a script ever. I just talk straight from my heart. Straight from my heart, I just talk. If there's ever a cut in editing, it's because I stumble over a word or because I was kind of rambling and it was too long going to cut it out. But yeah, I always just talk straight from the heart. I never write anything down, and I don't like to have anybody else's thought in my mind, because that'll come out when I'm talking. Because they can make a really good point. It's like, oh, that's a good point. So I don't want to just take from them inadvertently because I'm talking and things are just flowing like that. But let's watch some of this here. Let's get some sound going.
I'll ask you just quickly, the film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways.
Weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways. What makes them despicable? Why are they weirdos? Like, some guys might be a loner. I'm kind of like that a little bit. I like to be by myself, except for when I'm out, doing my thing in the cities and whatnot. But aside from that, I kind of like to kind of chill, have my by myself time. Why is that a thing to be ridiculed for? Okay, you should ridicule those that are out there causing a societal breakdown and chaos. Ridicule them, not the guys that are minding their business, not bothering anybody. You should be thanking us for not being out here causing the wreck, for not being out here terrorizing society. Okay, and then you say, okay, incel. Now, if you don't know what that is, incel, that means involuntarily celibate. A lot of guys do not have luck with women for whatever the reason may be. It could be anything. And a lot of guys, a lot of young guys especially, are trying to figure it out. How do I have more success with women? How do I make myself attractive to women? And they're having a hard time figuring it out. Now, if guys are coming on the internet and saying that about themselves, if they say, hey, I'm struggling with women, I'm having a hard time, that right there is being very vulnerable, because that can be an embarrassing thing to say. That can be an embarrassing thing to admit. But when you come out and say that, you're being, like I said, you're being vulnerable, as people suggested you should be more vulnerable, be more open, be more honest. But when you do that, you get guys like Piers Morgan and a lot of these LGBTQ people, feminists or whatever, to come out and say, oh, but you know what? You're a weirdo, loser, loner, despicable. You see what I'm saying? So why should I come out and say anything? I'm better off keeping all my feelings bottled up inside. Now, if I keep everything inside, that causes a problem too. Now, you got guys that are out here just not knowing where to turn. And Jordan Peterson has been a really good resource for a lot of guys. Okay, like I said in my video, I kind of been there before. Been in a state in my life where things weren't really going the way I wanted. One thing I learned before I let Mr. Peterson speak, one thing I learned is to just not really care about what anybody else thinks. Don't care. Just do what you're gonna do. As long as you're not hurting people, just do it. Don't worry about what people are gonna think. Don't worry about what Piers Morgan says about you. People are gonna insult you. They don't even know you. And if they do know you and insult you, what kind of a friend do you have? If you are going forward in society positively, doing correct things, not hurting people, then what's the problem? Why should anybody have an opinion? Now, somebody's going to try to twist that and be like, well, ABL, what about the LGBT? You really against them? Look, I don't really care if you're LGBT. I don't care if you're gay. That's your business. If you're an adult, that's your business. My only gripe with the LGBTQ LMNOP community is how they impress themselves upon children, upon young people. Okay, I don't think a 5-year-old should be at a drag queen story time putting money into a stripper's garter. Okay, I don't think that should be going on. I don't think adult males should flash themselves in front of children. That, 5 years ago, that would have been just no thing to say. Everybody would have agreed with that. But now, all of a sudden, it's kind of dodgy. Oh, ABL, you're being transphobic. You're being homophobic. How am I being homophobic to say that kids should not have some dude waving his stuff around in front of them? How is that being transphobic or homophobic? That should be kind of common sense. I thought that was illegal. I thought you could go to jail for that. I thought that if you pull your thing out in front of anybody, let alone a child, you would go to the penitentiary for that. TD Jake's son got locked up for that because he was in the park doing something he shouldn't have been doing in front of police officers, adult males, and for that he went to jail. But if you drag queen story time and you got little kids around, you could do the exact same thing almost, not quite, but almost, and it's fine. And if you say something about it, you're a bigot. But anyway.
Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure. Why not? People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. What a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
You've been so controlled today, and yet in that brief moment, you got very emotional. Why?
It's really something to see constantly how many people are dying for lack of an encouraging.
Now, I'll pause it right there. You can watch the whole thing on Abba and Preacher's channel. But what he's talking about is, it's so many guys out there that are struggling really, really badly. They're struggling bad, and it's like, who cares about them, right? Now, I don't want to get too heavy right here. I don't want to get too heavy. Again, like I said, I'm going to keep it a little bit light. That's why I pause it right there. But I saw a video of a veteran. He was on the side of the road in his truck. He was pulled over in the grass, right by the gutter, like on the side of a road, basically. Might have been an interstate, regular street road or whatever. So the cop pulls up to him. You can see what he's doing in the body-worn camera with the flashlight. He's like, hey, what's going on, bud? The guy rolls the window down. He was crying. He was on the suicide hotline with the VA. And then the cop was like, hey, man, I got you. Don't worry about it. He comforted him in that moment. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of guys like that are out there struggling and nobody is really caring. So to have somebody that cares and is out there looking out for you is a great thing. So yeah, shout out to Jordan Peterson and everybody out there that is somebody to someone, because you are appreciated. Now, again, I don't want to get too deep. I don't want nobody crying tonight, so I'll move forward here. And if you like what you heard thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about Trevor Noah right quick. Speaking about men, let's keep it on that same thing. So Trevor Noah has quit The Daily Show, allegedly. And the reason why I say allegedly is because maybe he got fired and used the whole I quit argument. But I think that's not necessarily the case. I don't think so. Now, here's the reason why I say I think that he quit rather than being fired. Now, remember, The Daily Show was hosted by Jon Stewart back in the day. Well, back as late as 2015. And in 2015, it was a passing of the torch. Okay. So Jon Stewart had it, and passed it to Trevor Noah, literally, like gave it to him. It was a whole big thing. They announced it. They were promoting it for a while to let you know he was going to take over. It wasn't like one day Jon Stewart was gone and then the next day Trevor Noah was there. It was a whole thing leading up to it. I covered it back on the channel back then when it happened, back in 2015, 7 years ago. So now you still have the show going on, but it's not doing as well as it did before. It's not doing very well. When Jon Stewart had it, he was at 1.3 million viewers per night. Now, Trevor Noah's at like 300,000 viewers a night. So you go from 1 million to 300,000, you're losing 1 million viewers over the course of 7 years. Now, is that all Trevor Noah's fault? Maybe not. I think at a certain point, people are starting to cut the cord from late night television in general. And also, a lot of these late night, well, not just late night TV, but TV in general, cutting the cord. It's been going on for a long time. But I think one of the main reasons why his show is suffering is because in 2015, the thing that happened was Donald Trump. And a lot of these pseudo news outlets and regular news outlets hitched their wagons to hating on Trump 24/7. Comedy Central, who else? CNN, everybody. They became, I hate Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. You turn on late night TV right now, you turn on Colbert, Fallon, whoever, especially Colbert, January 6th, Stormy Daniels, all of that still. Trump's been gone for 2 years, but they can't let him go. Why? Because that was their cash cow throughout this time, and they can't really pivot to anything else because the audience they had that liked the more varied content has left. The audience that likes the Trump hate content has remained. So if they leave that content behind and try to switch, they're going to lose. The regular audience is already gone. They've been gone. And those who were there for the anti-Trump content will leave as well. So you pretty much left with zero. That's my opinion. That's what I think. So it's like, what do you do? How do you continue on? So I think Trevor Noah was like, saw it right on the wall. He saw that it was going to be something that changed. It was steady declining viewership. And he wanted to do more than just be on a Daily Show. Why just be on that show when you could do so much more with yourself when you feel like you're bigger than that show? If the viewers were still at 1.3 million, it'd be different. Now you're in a whole different ball game. But 300,000, I mean, that's not really all of that. So I think he quit because if he was to resign and it was like an advance notice type thing, well, let me say this. He probably quit abruptly. It was with no notice, or he probably said it right there on the air and caught the network off guard. Because if he gave an advance notice and resigned in 2 weeks or a month or 6 months or whatever, it would have been the whole thing. Okay, who'd be the next host of the Daily Show? We're going to do a whole rollout of the next host. It'd be an LGBTQ element of P, woman of color, a feminist, a trans person. You're 45 years old, but you identify as 21. You got a beard and at the same time blush. You got all of that going on. That might have been the next host. Or one of the panelists could have been the next person. Roy Jones, Roy Wood Jr., whatever his name is. All right. Roy Wood Jr., he might be the next person, but it would have been a rollout. They would have promoted it, all of that. But that did not happen here. So I believe it was an abrupt decision to leave with no advance warning, because I think if he was to warn them, they probably would be like, look, man, don't go nowhere, give you a pay raise. They probably would have tried to persuade him to stay. He was like, nope, don't want it. So now he's out, and I think the Daily Show should go ahead and close up shop. Samantha Bee got fired. I had no idea she got fired. Samantha Bee got fired. Dessis and Mero, they quit. CNN's pretty much firing all their so-called talent. It's a mess on television, late night talk show. It's a mess because nobody wants to hear that nonsense anymore. We're tired of the gaslighting. We're tired of the anti-Trump stuff. Talk about things that I actually want to hear. Entertain me on a late night talk show. All right. Now, Colbert not Colbert, pardon me. Gutfeld, on the other hand, Greg Gutfeld is doing very well over on Fox News with his show. And as a matter of fact, his show is outperforming Stephen Colbert. in a late night segment. And who would have thought that Fox News would have a good late night talk show that's doing that well in ratings? Well, people are just starting to understand that late night talk shows on network TV are trash nowadays. They're trash. And they don't speak about things that make a difference. It's all corporate media, sponsors, corporate, political. Once you get through all the sponsors and the corporate nonsense and the political nonsense, do you even have a show? Where is your actual show at? You have nothing. You got a big ad. It's like reading a National Enquirer or something like that with a bunch of ads in it. You got fake stories and then ads. That's kind of what it is at this particular point. Yeah. Johnny Carson, all these guys. Johnny Carson is not walking through the door. The old Letterman not walking through the door. Jay Leno and his chin are not walking through that door. You got these new guys and a new way of doing things. It just kind of sucks. So the best thing to do would be to go a different direction, which is what Gutfeld has done. So yeah, shout out to Gutfeld. Alex Stein would do great on late night. Alex Stein would do great on late night for sure. Absolutely. Primetime Stein, do it. I'm with it 100%. Eric Bredenberg says Gutfeld is too mean to Cat Temp. Cat Temp deserves that. Cat Temp is a nut. So nah, she definitely deserves it. It's fine, but she'll be all right. She'll definitely be okay. She understands what time it is. She's like the resident liberal on there, so she knows that she has to take some of that. It's fine. But yeah, so people are just kind of tired of it, and I think Trevor Noah knows that. He may want to do something else, because one thing about Trevor Noah is that he does have some good takes sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time, but I got to give credit where credit is due. I've done videos on here talking about Trevor Noah's good takes. So he may feel kind of restricted by not really being able to say those kind of things on a Comedy Central, because they want him to be more, how can I say, you hate Trump, don't you? That they want him to be kind of like in that mode, rather than giving the occasional common sense take like a Russell Brand or somebody like that. Even Jon Stewart gives okay takes every now and again. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find a video. Let me see. Yeah, because, okay, Trevor Noah went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and then cracked inflation jokes. That probably was a thing that rubbed the big wigs over at Comedy Central the wrong way. They probably didn't like that too much. One thing, here's a good take from, here's a great take from Trevor Noah. Hold on. Great take for Trevor Noah right here, talking about Trump and world leaders. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let's load it up properly. This was back, when was this? This was back in March of this year, March 12th, 2022, when I did this video. All right, this was a good take. Hold on 1 second. Remember this?
You didn't know how he would respond. Maybe he'd send an angry tweet, or maybe he'd just like ban your country from everything. You don't know.
So that was talking about Trump and how he would respond, because he was unpredictable. Because why? Because he was a leader and not somebody that you could control like a puppet. You know exactly what Joe Biden will do and say for the most part when he's able to get it out, when he's able to have his when his cognition is operating properly. You know, the mumbling and stumbling is one thing, but you know what he's going to do. There's no real mystery there. But Trump was not that way, because he was an actual leader. You see, that's why they don't like Trump and guys like him, because they actually work. They want you to be an empty suit in the White House. They want you to let your staffers and handlers take care of everything, while you just kind of like, they want you to be the Queen of England, essentially. You go and do the press conferences and shake hands, and don't leave the kids alone, Joe Biden. Leave the kids alone, okay? Don't do that. Don't kiss no babies, but just go out there, shake hands, and look pretty. That's it. Don't look dead. Look alive a little bit. We know you got 2 feet in, but can we get a little bit more of a lively appearance from you, Mr. Joe Biden? Can we do that? That's all they want. They don't want him to be a leader. Same thing with Trump. They didn't want him to be a leader. That's why they were so against him. That's why they hated him so much. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can put this video. Let's go ahead and roll it. Put the video up right here.
There is no denying that Saudi Arabia isn't playing ball with Joe Biden. And you know what? You can say what you want, but this would have never happened to Donald Trump. Never. No one was ever ignoring Donald Trump's calls.
Oh, remember that? Because I think Biden had tried to call the Saudi king, and he was getting ignored. Hey, Saudi king saw Joe. I ain't answering that. Back to this shisha session, but I'm going to go down that road.
Yeah, because if you ignored Donald Trump's calls, you didn't know how he would respond. Maybe he'd send an angry tweet, or maybe he'd just like ban your country from everything. You don't know. That's why I bet in these situations, Biden actually wishes that he could hire Trump to step in as president wildcard. You know, just keep everyone on their toes. Because if Trump was calling, you best believe the UAE, they'll be racing to pick up the phone. Oh, Mr. Trump, we're here, hello? Too late, Ahmed. You made me wait 2 rings. We're bombing the UAE and the UFC, just in case.
That was a great take right there. I enjoyed that. Now, am I going to sit and just watch Trevor Noah on a Daily Show consistently? No, I'm cool on that, but that was a good take. I think takes like that may not necessarily go too well over at Comedy Central. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. They might like that. Maybe they don't. But I think he might want to do more stuff like that and have the freedom to do it without looking over his shoulder to be like, well, am I doing something appropriate? Is it inappropriate? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Well, I'm not going to sit there and laugh at it. I done already seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if I watch a movie for the 15th time, am I going to be cracking up, crying, laughing like the first time I saw it? Like, come on, let's not be silly. You know, I did the video, edited it and everything else. I ain't going to be like, oh, ha, 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 for the 18th time. But I appreciated the take. I enjoyed the take regardless. So, yeah, shout out to him. I don't know what he's going to do next, and I don't know what they're going to do over at Comedy Central. I guess he'll be there for a while until they find a replacement, because they put out a statement, and they said that they're working with him, trying to figure out the next steps and so they're probably going to try to find a replacement, and then they do the whole thing about the whole rollout. So right when he wants to actually be gone for good, it'll be a guy right there in his seat. It won't be a vacant seat, or it won't be any pause in production. So they probably put one of the panelists on there, or they may rotate the hosts from the panelists that are already existing. So that's probably what's going to happen. All right. And if you like what you heard thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, broken clock right twice a day. That's exactly right. Absolutely. So shout out to Trevor Noah, and shout out to Comedy Central. Shout out to all these network TV shows losing their talent, quote unquote. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do. I think at a certain point, network TV, your cable TV stations are going to just be struggling. I'm not really sure how they're still staying afloat. There's so many stations and nobody has cable anymore. I don't really get it. It's kind of a weird thing. All right, but we got a lot more going on here. Let me get to the next topics. All right. O'Reilly says, hey, babe, you seen Uncle Tom 2 yet? Yes, I seen Uncle Tom 2. I was at the premiere. Okay, I filmed for Uncle Tom 2. I was not in the most recent one, but they're going to have more stuff coming out, and I'll be in that. You'll see me in promo materials and things like that coming up. So I am involved with Uncle Tom 2, with the whole production team, Salem Films, Larry Elder, Chad Jackson, etc. So yeah, I was at the actual premiere in Dallas on August 28th. So I saw it beforehand, and I did a review on this channel. I reviewed Uncle Tom 2 on this channel before it came out, and then I went to the premiere to see it live with an audience. It was an amazing event. I had a great time. A lot of great people that were there, really good energy. It was fantastic. So shout out to everybody that I met there, and shout out to everybody that came to the event who I didn't meet. And if you've watched Uncle Tom 2, hey, thank you for watching it. We really appreciate you, for sure. Not speak for everybody that was involved with the movie, right? So what else we got going on? There's a few things I wanted to get to. Oh, the climate activist. Did you guys see the climate activist Izzy Cook on it was a New Zealand radio interview. So I think this person, Izzy Cook, lives in New Zealand, and so it was a local interview that she did on the radio. Now, Izzy Cook is like a great value Greta Thunberg, to put it lightly. Okay, young girl, teenager, climate activist. That's her. Now, she appeared on a radio show out there in New Zealand, speaking about what can we do to prevent climate change or to reverse it or whatever it is. And I have no idea what they're going to do. It's like, how are you going to prevent or reverse climate change? I mean, can we control the weather? Is there a machine to seat the sky, seat the clouds, make it rain? Anyway, I digress. If we ain't talking about controlling the weather with some kind of machine or something like that, then what are you talking about? But fewer gas emitting vehicles, lower carbon footprint. I don't want to hear anything about lower carbon footprint or anything of the sort from people that fly around the world in private jets, that have these big crazy estates. Talking to you, Al Gore, you got this big sprawling estate that is a super huge carbon emitter. I mean, how much carbon is emitted by cutting your grass? Okay, you're not cutting your grass with a Ego electric mower or something like that. You're not doing that. You're not cutting all them acres of grass with an electric mower yourself. You're gonna have them Hispanic guys out there with all their gas powered tools. How much does that cost? How much fuel is burned from cutting your grass every week? Keeping the hedges nice and trimmed. How much fuel is burned in that process? Also, how much fuel is burned to heat and cool your residence? Basic electricity for the lights in your residence. Your vehicles, flying. How much are you burning? But I digress. Let's talk about this interview here. This was a radio interview, so it's only audio, but the audio was priceless. Now, the host could not contain herself. She was just too happy, laughing way too much at this young lady when there was a certain question that was asked, and the response just kind of took her off guard, or she was just like, the irony is way too much. All right, let's go ahead and check it out here. Again, this is in New Zealand, and the person being interviewed is a climate activist by the name of Izzy Cook. And that's her right there in the picture. And you're not tripping if you've been drinking. You're not drunk necessarily. This is a still picture.
For example.
So we would have to apply to have like approved events to be able to fly for.
Well, that's one thing that you could look at doing.
Am I allowed to go to Fiji? Is that necessary?
In the current climate crisis, I don't think that that's necessary.
When was the last time you were on a plane?
I'm not sure. Maybe a few months ago, to be honest.
Where'd you go?
Fiji.
Izzy! Izzy! Don't you care about the climate, Izzy?
Of course I care about the climate.
Not enough. You went to... you went to Fiji. Izzy, come on, mate. Are you serious? Are you serious, Izzy?
No, it's pretty ironic.
Are you still there?
It is pretty ironic, but to be honest, it's not really a trip that I wanted to go on, but I can't really get out of it.
Why'd you go? Why'd you go?
My parents wanted to go.
Izzy,
I didn't want to go.
How are you embarrassed that your parents did that to the planet and then forced you to do it as well?
Of course I'm not embarrassed.
Did you have a terrible time?
Not really. I didn't have to
Izzy, I'm sorry. Mate, listen, you're such a champion. I think you've got a brilliant future ahead of you. And are you doing another strike soon?
Yeah, well, we'll look to.
Good. We'll talk to you again and might get you back on the show.
The host could not contain herself. But hey, I'm right there with her though, because how ironic is that? Because host was just like, okay, can we go to Fiji? Can we go there? Because they're in New Zealand. It's like a 4-hour plane ride to Fiji from like Auckland, New Zealand. It's right there. It's not that far. It's like going from New York to LA, maybe. Not even that far on a plane. All right, maybe like New York. No, not New York. Maybe like LA to like, I don't know, like Atlanta to El Paso, Texas, maybe. Right around that length of time. Not far. Hop on the plane, you be there before you know it. Get you some nice little ginger ale, some biscotti cookies, turn on lights off, you be asleep, and before you know it, you right there in Fiji. But that plane is going to emit a ton of carbon. Oh, the carbon footprint's crazy. You know how much how much a plane emits while it's in the air, how much fuel it consumes. It's crazy. It's a crazy amount. You're talking about 5,000 to 10,000 in gas, $5,000 to $10,000 in gas for one way for that kind of trip. So that's a lot of gas. But she went to Fiji and it's fine. Oh, why'd you go to Fiji? You said we shouldn't go there. Oh, my mom made me. I mean, but you know what? One thing I was asking in the video I did about this is who is funding these children to be so-called climate activists? Who funded Greta Thunberg? And first of all, the parents got to be blamed here. Greta Thunberg, speaking about her right quick, her parents are ridiculous. I mean, what in the world is happening? You talking about they had a book about her before she became really popular. They were making her be this climate activist and really big figure out there in the world. Did she even want to do that? I mean, is that something she wanted to do? Maybe she wanted to just be a little kid or a young person and do that rather than a climate activist. How dare you? And where is she at nowadays? Is she still, working the speaking industry? Is she still getting big checks for flying around the world talking about climate change? Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm Greta Thunberg. I'm too famous to get on a regular plane and fly a coach or a regular passenger flight. I can't get on Delta or JetBlue or nothing like that. I need a private plane to go to Melbourne or whatever she lives in Sweden. I need a private plane from Sweden to Dubai. And I'm gonna talk about climate change for, I don't know, 100 grand for a speech, 50 grand for a speech. It's a grift. It's an industry. It's not really real. Same thing with Al Gore. Al Gore made a whole cottage industry off of speaking about climate change. And first, when he first came out, it was about global warming, global cooling. But now it's climate change. If the science is settled, why does science keep changing? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find an old Al Gore interview, and then we can compare to how the climate activists sound today. All right, hold on. And my thing is this, okay, because somebody might want to say, well, hey, ABL, things change, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but check it out. If things change, then why should I listen to you, what you're saying right now, as far as, as far as rules we should follow to combat climate change? Why should I pay you any mind if things change? Because what you're saying right now might not be true in a year. So why should I act on what you're saying right now if what you're saying may or may not be true? What you're saying could be harmful if things are going to change all the time, if it's not settled like that. The term settled science is an oxymoron because a study cannot be settled. If it's ongoing, it can't be settled. Science is an ongoing study of the natural world around us. So it can't be settled if it's a study and it's ongoing. Hold on. Let's find okay. I'm trying to find a older one where it's not too long. I found one here, but I'm not going to play the entire thing. I'm gonna play some of it. All right, this is wow. He was a Tennessee senator. How things have changed. We got great people in office right now. We got Marsha Blackburn and my man. I forget my man's name. I can see his face. I met him a few times, but I forget his name. We got Marsha Blackburn, Bill Haggerty, right? And I also met Bob Corker, a lot of these guys. Al Gore, I don't know what in the world. Where's he from? He's like Nashville, Memphis. Where's he from?
We start with Senator Al Gore. First elected to Congress in 1985, he quickly became a leading force in Democratic politics, running for his party's presidential nomination before his 40th birthday. After his son was seriously injured in an automobile accident, he decided not to run in this year's election, devoting his time instead to a book. The result is Earth in the Balance, Ecology and the Human Spirit, and I'm pleased, especially pleased, to have Senator Gore back. Welcome.
Congratulations on your 100th show.
Thank you. It's nice for you to be here for this.
All right, okay, we got intros, pleasantries, and whatnot, but that's Al Gore back, and it's 1992. This is way back in the day. let's get to some of the meat and potatoes of the interview, because we don't got all day to be here talking to Al Gore.
Changes that are, just a natural part of that stage of life can be kind of triggered by a really shattering crisis of that kind. In my family, we really became a lot closer. We thought differently about the amount of time that we spend with each other, how we spend the time. It symptoms of a deeper underlying crisis. It's fundamentally a spiritual crisis, but it involves a collision between our civilization and the ecological system of the earth. We don't make the connection. A drunk driver, an alcoholic who has a whole series of drunk driving accidents, will try to explain each one of them away as an isolated misfortune when actually they're connected. These ecological crises that are occurring with growing frequency are connected. It's hard for us to...
So did I hear that right? So is he connecting spirituality to earth like events, eco crises, like hurricanes, earthquakes? Did he make that comparison? He's been all over the place. He's been talking about religion and earth, global warming, global cooling, climate change, everything. He's done everything. This guy's a nut. And by the way, he's from Carthage, Tennessee. Well, he's not from there necessarily. He moved there eventually with his family. That's between Nashville and like Crossville, Cookville. That's like basically like I-40, I suppose. Right off of I-40, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Matter of fact, yeah, right off of I-40. Not far from Nashville. Probably about a half hour from Nashville. So that was pretty much right on point. The Cumberland Plateau, that's where he lived. But yeah, guys like this have become very rich off of politics and pushing certain things. Just like your man Anthony Fauci became rich off of pushing the vaccines and all that kind of other stuff, right? Because you got to ask yourself, how much does being a politician pay? How much are you paid as a political figure? At the most, what, like 100,000, 200,000? Maybe if you're Anthony Fauci, 400,000, 500,000. You're not a millionaire. You're not going to be paid $1 million a year to do that. The president might make 400,000, right? So let's go to this this infographic right quick. Speaking about Anthony Fauci, I found a revolting infographic. It's pretty much straight to the chase. It's not something that's too difficult to understand. All right, we pretty much know what's going on here with your man Anthony Fauci. Look at this. So if you guys cannot see the screen, it says Dr. Fauci's pandemic wealth increase. 2019, he was worth $7.5 million, and now it's $12.6 million. So in 3 years' time, he almost doubles his wealth. Okay, almost doubles from 7.5 to 12.6. Now, what changed in those 3 years? And you might take a swing at it, take a little guess and see what changed in those 3 years. We know what happened. The scandemic came around. The scandemic enriched many people, including Anthony Fauci. Okay? That is not a small number to look at. It may seem small, but you keep hearing about bailouts and this Ukraine money we're sending, billions of dollars. But this is one man with all that money from doing what? What has he invented? What has he actually innovated? How has he given to society in a positive way? His whole thing has been pushing fear about the vaccine and things of that nature, right? That's kind of what it is. Oh yeah, it's much higher than that. That's right, Chuck. The retirement package. That's where he has a pension worth $400,000 a year. Matter of fact, more than that actually. But on the low end, it's 400,000 US dollars. That's what his retirement package is. So this guy's filthy rich from doing what? Pushing fear about the bug, about the scandemic. It's crazy now. And people are so crazy. People are so crazy, they don't even want to admit that they were taken advantage of because I think they've been programmed to feel this way, all right? Let me see if I can find a video that kind of encapsulates this. You guys may have seen it. Let me pull it up on the screen right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Oh, yeah, the insider trading is crazy. If you had any kind of stocks, if he had stocks in Moderna, Pfizer, whatever, and he was the guy that was in charge of making certain things happen or making them not happen, then he could just kind of operate that way, right? And trade on that. It's all kind of little loopholes, if you will, when it comes to the whole system. A lot of loopholes. And it's not even really a problem. But if you, as a normie, violate said loopholes, you might go to the penitentiary. But if you're a politician, ain't no problem. It's all good. It is all good. All right. Oh, here's the video right here. Perfect timing. This is Canadian actress Jennifer Gibson. And you can see something's wrong with her face. And you're going to hear her say why she believes that her face is screwed up. Right. And you're going to hear her justify her face being screwed up. All right, let's check it out.
This is not a video I want to make. And it's kind of hard to make because as I'm watching myself, I see what I'm going to say, which is I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy, which is paralysis on one side of the face. For me, it's this side here, the left, obviously. So I got it about 2 weeks after getting my vaccine, and I had a rough go with the vaccine, and I guess still am, but I have to say that I would do it again because it's what we have to do to see people. So, I don't know why I'm making this video, but here's my word smile.
This is sad, really. She's crying throughout the entire video. If you can't see it, she's crying. Like, tears are coming down both of her eyes. She's crying. Like, she regrets this. But she's been so brainwashed that she refuses to accept. Maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe I was sold a bill of goods. Maybe I was lied to. Maybe I was manipulated. Maybe this was not a good idea to do. She can't accept it. She's literally injured, crying, does not like this, but can't just say, hey, this might have been a bad idea. I'll probably give him bad advice. Anthony Fauci, all these guys, they told me the wrong thing. This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, but that's going on nowadays. I see that all the time. Okay, they're wearing the mask all the time. They keep touching it. They got chicken fingers, chicken wing dust on their fingers, ketchup, hot sauce, McDonald's, Polynesian Chick-fil-A sauce, all of that on their mask, which ruins a mask. It does no good at all. Whatever good it did, you pretty much ruined that, and it was not going to help you with the scamdemic at all. It wasn't going to do a thing. They didn't already come out there and said that the masks don't work. They're official decorations. Okay, it's just a fashion accessory. They don't work to do anything at all. They do nothing. They've already said this, but yet people still wear it. We know that the vax causes injuries, allegedly, sometimes. Obviously, people still get it, and they say, I have no regrets. It's crazy. But hey, what can you do? If somebody feels that way, how can you really say to them that they are incorrect? That's pretty much going to be how they feel, and you're not going to be able to change it at all. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yep, Justin Bieber got messed up. That's right. I remember that. His face was looking all over the place. All over the place. All right, talking about it's a rare genetic disease. It's like, man, come on, stop playing games. We know what's going on here. We know what happened. All right, we know exactly what happened and what's going on. All right, now I got a few videos for you guys that I want to show. And first of all, shout out to everybody out there in Florida. Hopefully you guys made it through the storm okay. Hopefully everybody's safe and secure and everything's all good. I've seen quite a few videos from the storm and a few pictures. I'm going to put some of those up right quick. And DeSantis is doing a great job of leading his state throughout the storm. A very good job of leading the state. Hold on. I got a lot of videos, actually. A lot of pictures and videos for you guys that I want to show. But before I continue, give me a thumbs up on the video if you've not done so already. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. but I got a lot going on here. So let's get to first things first. Here was a video during the storm over in Naples, Florida, that shows a lot of devastation. You know how bad the flooding was. The flooding got real bad. So I don't know what this was, if it was somebody's house or what. It appears to be somebody's house. And the water is like on the stairs. And it's flowing like a river, like a rapid river through the house. So that storm surge ain't no joke. The storm surge is always the biggest problem with flooding, because if you're not familiar with the storm surge, basically when water is pushed onto land from the ocean, you can't really do anything with it. It's like tsunami type of, it's kind of like a tsunami, but not really. A tsunami is more of a wave that comes in, a big wave that comes in and crashes. But it's the same kind of thing as a storm surge. But if you got a storm surge of like 8 feet, 9 feet, and you're only 3 feet above sea level and the highest point in your town, you're pretty much toast. And this could be the result of a very high storm surge. That water is very heavy, it's very fast, it's very powerful. It's not much you can do when that goes on. So yeah, that's one video. I got more here. Yeah, I heard about what was that? Fort Myers Beach flattened. Now, here's a good caption from Jack Posobiec. He says, "White toxic masculinity at it again."
Jacob.
So the caption on the actual video says, "Good Samaritans rescue man from flooded vehicle during Hurricane Ian."
Jacob.
The water is so high, it's up to their chest. It's like chest level, almost. It's very, very high. The vehicle is pretty much, it's toast. I don't know what he's doing in the car. It's like, at this point, whatever's in the car, just leave it, because right now, your life is more valuable. Okay, you trying to get a Pokemon card or a Yu-Gi-Oh? What are you getting from inside your car? Look at it. The signs are just completely covered. It's crazy. And it's dangerous to be in that water because there could be active power lines. There could be anything in that water, any kind of debris in that water. You could have sharp objects. Anything could be in there. You could have animals in there. You could have gators, whatever, rats.
Hey, tell me when you need help.
Power lines right there. I'd be scared. Because if a power line if a power line comes loose, if the power line is active, which is probably not active, but the power line is active and hits that water, you toast. That's like being in the bathtub, putting that radio in the tub with the cord. You toast. So these guys are risking their life to save people. Shout out to them. That's what America's all about. You know, doing things for your neighbor, doing things for each other. Yeah, that's an old man too.
Watch, it gets really deep over here.
So yeah, shout out to them for doing that, for sure. That's just one video of many of Good Samaritans doing their thing. Now here's the video of CNN being CNN. Maybe this might be a little misleading, perhaps. I can't really tell. But I'm gonna play the video and then you guys be the judge. So CNN, they are out here covering Hurricane Ian in Tampa, Florida. And you have the guy in front with some kind of baseball helmet looking thing and, you know, a rain jacket on. He's reporting the news while there's a guy behind him doing something else. Let's go ahead and check it out.
For only the most extreme moments, they don't issue those lightly. And clearly, the way that we are getting whipped around and battered by this violent wind is enough reason for us, the National Weather Service, to issue those extreme wind warnings.
Meanwhile, he's getting battered by the wind, and there's a guy in the back walking to his car like it ain't nothing going on. So it's like, I mean, what's happening? Are you just kind of a lightweight where the wind is whipping you around? Or is it not really that bad? Are you kind of exaggerating what's going on? All right. Are you exaggerating what's happening? Now that's CNN though. They're going to do stuff like that. So I don't really expect them to be so honest and straightforward like that. That's pretty much how that goes. But you know who never lied to me one time, who has never told me a lie in my whole life of watching hurricanes? Because being from Virginia, we watch hurricane stuff all the time. From July to like Halloween time, it's hurricane season. We're waiting for the hurricanes to come. So I'm all watching the Weather Channel, and I watched this one guy who never, ever told me a lie, who's been covering the hurricanes for the past, I feel like 100 years. I mean, good grief. Can this man retire? Get him a cigar and get him a golden parachute or something, man. Let this man just, you know what I mean? My man, Jim Cantore. Jim Cantore never told me a lie. And if you know, you know. Let's watch this video right here of Jim Cantore getting hit by a tree branch during storm coverage.
It just came flying by.
So he got hit by a branch right there. Like, check it out. It wasn't a really big branch, but it was big enough. And that wind, it makes that branch feel like it's a whole tree hitting your leg.
Bye.
Boom, right there. Look at that.
All right, you know what? I think I'm just going to come in here for a second.
Now, that is real coverage. He's out there for real. Ain't no faking that. Like I said, Jim Cantore never lied to me. Not at all.
Just give me a second. Jim, you all right? I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. You just can't stand up. All right. I'm gonna let you guys look at the pictures, okay?
So I think where he wound up going was like some kind of area where it's like might have been a little bit of a shelter, or where it's like the wind is kind of blocked, some kind of foyer area of a building or something like that. So kind of little entrance way. So yeah, shout out to Jim Cantore, man. He never told me a lie. He's always been 100% honest. CNN, they suck. They're gonna tell you a lie all the time. But my man Jim Cantore, like I said, can he retire though? I mean, how old is he anyway? Let's look him up. Hold on. 58. Okay, yeah, he's not that. Okay, but still, 58 years old, out there still in the hurricane. I mean, if he's still able to get out there and do it, I understand. But good grief, man, let him retire soon. Let him just be like doing color commentary in the booth. You're not gonna be playing football, 58 years old, out there trying to throw footballs to these 21-year-olds. Let him be in the booth just directing traffic rather than being out there in the wild himself, right there in the midst of it. I mean, good grief. But yeah, I've been watching him I watched him my whole life, literally, from Hurricane Isabel, Irene. He might have been around during Andrew back in 1992. And Hurricane Andrew was a beast. I remember that. Hurricane Andrew was a South Florida event, but everybody on the East Coast, especially, we were talking about that because it was projected to go pretty much anywhere, everywhere. It was a really big thing when Andrew hit. Hurricane Matthew and Irene, Isabel, Katrina in New Orleans, all these big hurricanes. I watched all of those happen. Yep. It's quite a few of those events. Yeah, in the trenches, Luchavelli, in the trenches, making it happen. Duke Rose says, now you feel really old. Hey, it's all good. I'll be right there at the age soon enough. He probably was a Hurricane Andrew. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's see if there's any footage of Jim Cantore during Hurricane Andrew. Oh, he sure did. Wow, look at this. he was there. Hold on. Wait a minute. Look at this. Look at Jim Cantore, 1992.
Good morning. We're live in the Weather Channel Forecast Center. Continue to watch history in the making here on August 24th, 1992. Let me show you what it looks like in the form of Hurricane Andrew, a very strong hurricane making its way onshore right now, landfall.
So he was in the actual office chilling this time. He wasn't out there in the field, I suppose. Got on a little white shirt with the tie, all that kind of stuff. Wow. That's crazy.
Again, the eye wall is now well onshore across South Dade County. And just last hour, they did have a wind gust at Miami International Airport up to 92 miles an hour. Earlier, the Hurricane Center just to the south in Coral Gables reported a wind gust of 165 miles an hour. So some very gusty winds, and I'm sure a lot of news to hear about this before too long. Dennis Smith is in Coral Gables. He's very, very close to where you see this eye wall coming across. Dennis, what kind of weather are you experiencing now?
Jim, we're starting to definitely feel the winds turn around.
So this guy out there, he was poor sap in Hurricane Andrew. Imagine being in Hurricane Andrew. Like, if you could know how bad that was going to be back then, imagine being out there knowing what you were going to be facing. You know, because when you're out there as a weather guy, I suppose you have an idea of how bad it could be. But once you actually experience it, it's a little bit different. So, yeah, shout out to Jim Cantori. That was interesting to see him way back then covering Hurricane Andrew. 30 years ago, that's right. 30 years ago, out there making it happen. All right. Now, have I played this video yet? Speaking about old people, and Jim Cantori compared to this man here, this next video is a spring chicken. Compared to this next man, Jim Cantori is a whole newborn baby, goo goo gaga, all that good stuff, right? Now, let's look at your man, Joe Biden. And speaking of hurricanes as well, he was out there at FEMA speaking. And after he got done speaking, he wandered off, and he was not supposed to go that way. They're trying to get his, like, Mr. President, they're trying to get his attention, and he's not really listening. Now, before I play the video, do you see his hands, how his hands are? Like, I can't really explain it. I can't explain it, but I can show you what I'm talking about here. Hold on. Do I have the meme already set up? Yeah, I got it. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's do it that way. There we go. So I'm gonna show you his hands. All right, you see Mr. Biden's hands, right? Kind of just like hunched over. Now, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, do you see the resemblance? Now, look at Homer. His hands are just straight down by his side. Has like a regular posture. Mr. Burns hunched over, and his hands are like this. Now, is that dementia? What is that? What causes hands to be like this? You see, like, there's something going on, obviously, with this guy, with Joe Biden. There's something going on. And then remember, he was like this also he was like what was that all about? What caused this? His fist to be extended like at a 90-degree angle, like toward his side. What causes this to happen? And then what causes that to happen? And how do you go from this to this? From your hands extended at a 90-degree angle, like you about to rock 'em sock 'em robot. And then, like, you about to go bunny hop. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And you see his hands, like.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So they're trying to get his attention. That's Mayorkas right there. That's Alejandro Mayorkas, if I'm not mistaken. That's the a FEMA lady trying to get his attention, and he's just like meandering off. Something is not right here. Something we know, but we like, I'm kind of like beating a dead horse. Be totally honest with you, but we see it more and more every week. And here's my question: how long can he last like this? How long can he stay in office when he's clearly falling apart? Clearly, he's falling apart. Well, he fell apart a long time ago, but it's just like we're seeing the crumbs kind of just sprinkle off him at this point. You know, it's just kind of the crumbs sprinkling out there at this point. Like, how long can he last like that? And then they put Kamala Harris in there. She ain't no better. Kamala Harris is simple as, simple as simple could be. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. That's pretty much the extent of her vocabulary. Imagine her going out to Vietnam or North Korea somewhere talking like that. That's embarrassing. You can't have some imbecile out there representing the USA. But that's what Kamala Harris is. But again, if she used to go out there representing us, that's going to be very embarrassing. So we can't have her. So who would be the person that take up that mantle? Who would be the person to actually be able to help us go forward? And Kamala Harris, speaking about Kamala Harris, North Korea and whatnot, did you hear what she said about North Korea? Did you hear what she said about North Korea? Okay, let's play this video right quick so you can hear what she said about North Korea. Let's roll it.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
North Korea? Let's hear that one more time.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And she's at the DMZ talking like this. She's at the DMZ in South Korea. At the DMZ talking like that. Like, I'm speechless. She's literally at the DMZ. So I have no words. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you got Joe in there. He doesn't know what's going on, but he has valid excuse. He's like almost 80 years old. He's an old man. He has valid excuse for being like that because, you know, typically when people get older, they start to lose certain faculties. Not all the time. When my grandmother passed away, she was 95 years old, sharp, razor sharp still. She knew everything that was going on. She knew what I was doing in college. She knew all of that at 95 years old when she actually passed away. Like, we visited her, like, when she was pretty much about to go, laying in the bed, but she was sharp as a razor at 95 years old. Knew everything that was going on around her. But Joe Biden, on the other hand, at almost 80 years old, is dull as a butter knife, dull as a cafeteria spork, dull as dull could be, dull as 1985 carpet and drapes. I'm talking about just dull for no reason. All right. So that's what we got. But Kamala Harris, on the other hand, what's her excuse to be a moron like this? North Korea, we got an alliance with them? For real? I can't tell. So yeah, that's crazy. But like I said, if you get Biden out of there, you got to do with Kamala Harris. So I don't see how they can run anybody and win an election in 2024. It don't matter if you put Gavin Newsom in there. It don't matter who you put in there. I don't see anybody from that particular side of the aisle winning, which is why they on the left are doing so much to try and stop Trump, to try and stop DeSantis, to try and stop anybody from getting in there, because they know you put anybody that has half a brain in there, they are going to perform very well. And speaking about brainless people, here's a random video for you guys of people at what appears to be a gas station or somewhere trying to put air in their tire. I don't know what they were trying to do, but let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with that?
We're trying to figure out how to put gas in the car. I'm sorry, not gas, but in the tire.
If they're trying to put gas in the tire, does gas go in the tire? Is that what's in the tire? I didn't know that gas was inside of a tire. I did not know that tires were inflated with liquid gas. I didn't know that's how that worked.
Can you help me instead of taking video?
You know what that is?
No. What is it?
That's propane.
Oh, shoot. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Where is the guy? Oh, it's air water down there. Sorry. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to blow the thing up.
So they were trying to put propane into their tires. Propane. And my thing is, okay, how can you not see the big signs that say flammable, gas? It says it right there, like literally right there. But they think that gas goes in the tire. And of course, they're driving wet now. What are they driving? You got it. They're driving a Tesla. What else, right? Because gas goes in the Tesla. Gas goes in Tesla tires. All righty. There we go. Yeah, Tesla about to blow all the way up. Blow all the way up. Dead serious. You'd be surprised what people do. I'm telling you, people, you guys in the audience are very smart people. You're smart enough to understand politics and what's going on in the world. You guys are smart. But the average mouth breather just walking around is a few trees short of a forest, a few fries short of a Happy Meal, a few knives and forks short of an entire silverware set. Y'all know what it is. They're not really all the way there. Now, I don't know what they do to be able to afford a Tesla, but that's actually motivation right there. If they can afford a Tesla with their limited intellect, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do, all right? So let it be motivation to you. You could do whatever you want to do in America. If they can afford a Tesla, you can afford, you could be Elon Musk. How about that? That's crazy. Propane in the tire. How about putting air in the tire? How about that? That's crazy. But I've seen pretty much everything at this point. I'm not surprised. Some would say, well, that was a prank. Man, please. I've seen that kind of stuff at a gas station. Not quite like that level. But remember when they had the gas shortage scare? And I kept saying to everybody, don't go out and get no gas. It's going to be fine. It's not really a big deal. People were putting gas in water bottles. A lady put gas in a plastic bag. A plastic bag. It's like, ma'am, how are you going to put gas in the Target bag? You put your pumpkin spice, candles, and your batteries for your alarm system, which you don't put in the system anyway because keep beeping. But anyway, you put groceries in the bag, not gasoline. It was crazy. The gas was not standing in the bag. It was spilling everywhere, but yet she was still trying to do it. It was a mess. So yeah, don't act like that can't happen. We saw it happen during that little crisis with the gas. We saw that. Yes, we did. We sure did. Oh, and the truck bed and tarp. Yep. One guy had a tarp, like a blue tarp, like a pool tarp or something like that. He had a tarp in his truck bed and was putting gas inside of the truck bed. Now, he did not think it all the way through because let's just say the tarp holds the gasoline inside the bed. How are you going to get the gasoline from the bed to your tank? How are you going to drive with the gas in your truck bed? The truck bed is designed to drain out water. So it's a tarp in there, but still it's going to splash everywhere. It's going to be all on the road. It was crazy. It was crazy. Somebody says Target bags really sturdy. Hilarious. Yeah, Target bags are sturdy for all your pumpkin spice. You know, you put in your pumpkin spice balls in there, right? That'll help for that, but not for no gasoline, not for no liquid. Okay? Try putting a bag of gas inside of your car and watch how quickly that just spills everywhere. But, okay, did I get to everything I wanted to get to? I think I did. Oh, New York City Mayor versus Kansas. I already pretty much talked about that last time. Oh, I got one more thing for you guys. One more video for you guys, and that is my man Kennedy from Louisiana. What's his first name? John Kennedy? Yeah, John Kennedy. So shout out to my man John Kennedy. He's running for what's that, Senate again? Is he a senator or is he a House rep? Let me make sure I got myself together. Yeah, senator from Louisiana. So let's check this out right here. Hold on one second. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, and this ad from John Kennedy was great, but the reaction to it was weird, but also very telling. Let me get it up right quick. The video up. Y'all don't be crazy. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, let's check it out.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
Hilarious. Hey, man, if you don't like cops, if you get in trouble, you got some little issues going on, you call a crackhead. That right there, that's a real ad, and I like it a lot. I love it. Now, people got upset at that ad because they said that the term crackhead was racist. It's like, whoa. Wait just a minute. Wait just one doggone minute. How is saying the term crackhead racist? Matter of fact, there's one guy who's trying to become the senator in Louisiana, Gary Chambers. He's upset, and he put out something talking about that. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Oh, here we go. Let's check what he says. Bitman, how much do you weigh, sir? I mean, did you play football like recently? I mean, what's going on?
Now this here is Louisiana politics at its best.
If you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
But it's also racist as hell, and he ain't say nothing about opioid addicts, meth addicts, none of that other stuff, because he was trying to talk about a specific subset of people that he doesn't give a damn about serving in Louisiana since he's been elected. We need leaders who have real solutions to the problem in our communities, not cowards like John Kennedy who drop one-liners and do nothing on the job. You're a piece of
Oh, you about to cuss? Whoa, wait a minute. Don't cuss.
Trash.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, he said trash. Now, wait a minute. Wait just one doggone minute. I know about Louisiana a little bit. I know about New Orleans and what they call it, dog food down there that the black people be on. The black folks be on that heroin heavy. New Orleans is probably like the heroin capital of the black community. So when you say opioid addicts, who are you talking about though? Opioid has no racial lines, especially not in Louisiana. Some of these guys that were like on the top 10 list, like Lil Wayne, the Hot Boys, these guys were on heroin back then. One of the guys that was in that group, BG, was a heroin addict while he was in the group. And I heard about stories about these guys, these rappers from like the 2000s from like New Orleans, Louisiana. These guys were active heroin addicts, and that's still going on right now. You watch First 48, a lot of these shows. There's a lot of black folks on heroin terribly bad. Now, I don't just mean these opiate substances, these opiate derivatives, Percocet, Molly. I'm talking about like straight heroin, shooting, banging needles. That's happening a lot in New Orleans with black people. So why would that be a race-specific thing to say opioid addicts? That's not a white-only thing. That's everybody affected by that. With the fentanyl especially, everybody's on that. Not everybody, but all races are on that. Same thing with a crackhead. Me being from the black community, so to speak, crackhead was never a race-specific term. Crackhead was about somebody that's on crack, out there in the street acting the fool. And you see black crackheads, white crackheads. Usually it's black or a white crackhead. Okay, I've seen white crackheads in my house. Different story, not where I live, but in the place where I was staying before. That's a crazy story I want to get into. I've seen white crackheads, black crackheads, a little bit of everybody. Male, female, young, old, all of that. It's not race specific. If you think calling somebody a crackhead is racist, you're racist. You think that only black folks are crackheads? Come on, be for real. Be serious. It's to the point where you can identify. Oh, exactly. Hunter Biden. There we go. Hunter Biden on tape smoking crack, filming himself smoking crack. I'm talking about Beaming the Scotty. on tape, the president's son, the current president's son is a whole crackhead, was dismissed from the military because he was a crackhead. So how was it very specific? So if I say crackhead, you got Hunter Biden right there in that category. There's a lot of guys right there in that category. A lot of these Hollywood people are crackheads too. Dope fiends, crackheads, meth monkeys, whatever you want to call them. It's all the same. But yeah, I've seen white crackheads smoke crack right in front of me. Black crackheads do the same thing. At the end of the day, they're the same kind of, they got the same problem going on. It's not a difference because of their race, because of their skin tone. They're on drugs. Now, I've seen people at a rehab facility, like a rehab center in DC. I wasn't there, like, because I don't do drugs or nothing, but I've seen it. And you had people that were young, old, white, black, poor, rich. I saw every race. I saw white, black, Indian, Hispanic, all races, all genders, everything. But anyway, that was a funny ad. Shout out to my man John Kennedy from Louisiana for keeping it all the way real. Hey, if you don't like the police, call a crackhead next time you're in trouble. See how that goes. All right, so we got some super chats on that. I'm going to get to those right quick. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll get to the calls in a few. Y'all just please hang tight. Super chats first, then calls. Thank you to Caius Posthumous, who says, ABL, what say you about California being a trans sanctuary? Well, that's what it appears to be like. You could go to California and get you a operation on the house, I suppose. And if that's not the case, then I can't tell. They're kind of leading that direction. So yeah, if they want to do that, then that's on them. I don't support that, which is why I don't live in California. If you're living over there in California, I feel for you. I say escape while you can. Hey, the weather might be great. You might feel like you're at home. But hey, man, everybody got to leave home at a certain point. Leave the nest, go somewhere else, and figure life out. Arizona's just as good. Arizona's okay. Nevada's okay. I promise it'll be better than California. In the long run, especially. Thank you to Apu, who says, ABO, you think Democrats going to October surprise Trump arrest? That's a good question. I don't think so. Because that would just galvanize Trump loyalists more. So that'll just work against them in October. It wouldn't be a thing that would help at all. Thank you to Peter John Doyle, who says, or can't remember the ABL squad. Thank you to Apu again, who says, did Putin or U.S. deep state blow up undersea pipeline? I think that the U.S. did that. Speaking about Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, the U.S. did that, in my opinion. I can't say that for certain, but I think we did that because it doesn't make sense for anyone else to do it. Why would Russia do it when that's their leverage? They have leverage because they supply gas to the European Union through Germany. And they are relied upon to do that. They spent a bunch of money, a bunch of time on Nord Stream 1 and 2. So why would they blow it up? If they didn't want to supply Germany or Europe any gas, they would cut it off at the source. There's no need to destroy the pipeline. Germany wouldn't do it. Like, nobody would do that other than the U.S. because it makes sense for us to take away their leverage. We take that away. We make the rest of Europe do with us and other nations like, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait. Do with them for your gas. Don't do it with Russia. And that reduces Russia's ability to generate money to fight the war in Ukraine. Because again, the war in Ukraine is not a war against Ukraine. It's a proxy war against the U.S. and NATO. It's not against Ukraine. I think the U.S. did that as a way to slow the Russian Federation down so they would lose the Ukraine battle. That's my opinion, but I can't prove that. But I think anybody with a brain can pretty much come to that same conclusion. That's just me, though. Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL, powerful video on Jordan Peterson. You gave soul. Thank you for that. Thank you to Brock K. MIT, who says, YouTube took Trump rally down. Not right, man. That's crazy. Thank you to Caius Posthumous, who says, they throwing doo-doo on the Metro by Eric Adams. Exactly. Thank you, Eric Adams. Doo-doo on the Metro, all kind of crazy stuff going on. It's no bueno. That's part of the brand, huh? Doo-doo on the Metro. It's part of the brand. And I've seen a really heinous video of somebody getting stabbed to death. I mean, I see things that I wish I could unsee sometimes because that's in my brain like forever. I can't unsee it. Whatever Media Network says we need to do a panel before the holidays with Jericho Green. Well, let's check it out. Dwight 84 says, which woke late nighter should be let go next? I think they should all be let go. I think first should be Colbert. Get him out of here right away. Colbert should be the next person to go. That's my least favorite. Well, I don't want to say favorite, not a favorite at all. That's the person I probably dislike the most. That's probably the best way to say that. Stephen Colbert. Get him out of here. Then get to Cal Denson who says, look at entertainment. You got Eric July, a.k.a. Rapper 59, make big on the whole comic scene. Meanwhile, Marvel is losing viewers while She-Hulk twerking, left controlling media losing its grips. Yeah, they're not doing very well. She-Hulk is not even charting. People aren't really watching that. And who could be surprised? Because, like, what's the draw there? Why would anybody watch that? You got Incredible Hulk made into a woman, and she's twerking. How does that really connect with Incredible Hulk and not that whole... It doesn't make any sense. And it's the series. Why would I watch that? You see, it made sense back in the day to watch The Incredible Hulk, the series on television, when it was live action, Luther Rittner, all these guys. It made sense. But now it's like CGI, corny, woke writers, just not a really good, not an enjoyable time. So now I'm not going to watch that. And yet they're going to lose a lot of viewers. And people like Eric July are going to do well because they have stuff that people actually want to see. That's just what it is. Thank you to Jake Lowe who says, hit the like button and let YouTube algorithms hear your voices. There you go. F Ranger Xbox says, Al Gore's monthly electric bill is $30,000. Yeah, $30,000 for an electric bill every month is crazy. And that lets you know that there's a lot of carbon emission coming from his estate. Okay. And again, to cut all that grass, that's a lot of carbon emission. The upkeep and the maintenance of his estate is more than we would ever burn in a year, in my opinion, on a month-to-month basis. His monthly maintenance on the estate is more than our yearly electric bills. But he tells you to cut down your carbon footprint. How about you go first, Al Gore? Then maybe I'll consider it. Charles Turner Jr. says, people like Izzy Cook, Greta Thunberg, Al Gore, and others are hypocrites. However, it is getting tiresome pointing out the hypocrisy. We know they're hypocritical. They don't care. Let's do our own thing, not worry about them. F Ranger Xbox says, Greta Thunberg is Rothschild's granddaughter. Is that right? Albert Nada Retro says, replace Trevor Noah with Craig Ferguson. Yeah, shout out to Craig Ferguson. Yeah, shout out to him. Thank you to Ocean Breeze Salty who says $12 billion to Ukraine. How much to Florida? Good question. They got FEMA relief, but how much do they have from FEMA? Very good question. Apu says Blake Masters' Twitter showed use handling guns with extra long clips. So sad. Why do they do this? What are some solutions to this problem? Jail right away. Okay, some rapper Lil Zay Osama got caught in New York City with a Glock with a switch on it. What he did was leave it in the Uber like an idiot. So again, if you don't know what a switch is, it turns a Glock pistol into a fully automatic weapon. It makes it fire fully automatic. Switches are very illegal because you have a machine gun, and a machine gun is super illegal on a federal level. That's 10 years. That's 10 years right there. So if you didn't get 10 years for that gun, then it's like you telling people that the laws don't even make a difference. The laws, it's like they have no teeth. I have that video right here, matter of fact. Ain't no point for the sound because ain't no English going on. So, it's no point for the sound. Hold on. Let me just turn that off. So these young guys, hold on.
On my butter. We do. Don't play my slide.
So this young boy right here, these are eighth graders. This young boy here has on his cap and gown from graduating 8th grade. It's what I talk about a lot of times. It's like these young boys go to school, but what's the point? I mean, a lot of these schools, it's like it's no purpose in going. You could graduate, but can this boy even read though? You have a Glock with a switch on it. You can see the switch right there. It's kind of blurry. A little bump right there on the back of the slide. That is a switch, and that's super illegal. He's on video with his face shown. He's probably about 13 years old with a machine gun. that's super illegal. That's 10 years off the rip. As a juvenile, I'm not really sure. You might get juvenile life for that. Look at that.
We'll guess like that. Switchy. No talking.
And they all have them. They all have the switches on them.
3 switches right here. And I put the bitches. That's just enough right there. That's enough.
13-year-olds. Look at it, little kids. So it's like when you hear about gun control, it's like they're in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, 13 years old with machine guns. So who's gun control for? They already have very tight gun control laws in Chicago, but they have the guns that you can't even get from the store. So the whole idea that Barack Obama said, there's some dude who goes and with a van full of guns and goes to Chicago and gives these guns to the kids. Like, you go to a gun store, buy the guns legally in your name, and then sell them at a loss. For what reason, I don't know. But in your name, at a loss, in the hood, and you don't get robbed ever. And then you supply them with these illegal things on the back, these switches on the back. Come on. It's so dumb. So when anybody says, we need to have more gun control, show them this video right here and say, well, they're on a tight gun control right there. It's not doing them any good. And these young boys will kill you. Oh, yes, they will. All right. So when I see somebody talking about, oh, it was a little boy, why you shoot him? Well, a little boy was going to shoot you.
1, 2, 3. That's enough. We don't even get our shit off.
So, yeah, I mean, like I say, jail. If you are in Virginia, you can be 14 years old and try as an adult. So I'm not sure what it is in Chicago, Illinois, but they need to do the same thing. 14 years old, you can get life in jail, your whole life, natural life at 14 years old. If that happens, then they'll be less likely to go out there and just do dumb stuff like that, because what fuels out of that stuff, like what you just saw, is the lack of any kind of penalty or lax penalties, soft on crime policies. That's what it is. But I digress. How do these kids afford those guns? They're stealing the guns. They're stealing the guns, or they're buying stolen guns. Either they steal the guns themselves or they buy stolen guns. A lot of the times in like Atlanta, for example, when cars are broken into, what do they want? Guns, drugs. Guns, drugs. That's what they want. The gun first. If you got the gun, then they good. They don't need nothing else. iPhone, laptops, anything like that. Any kind of electronics, guns, drugs. Prescription, whatever you got, they want that. That's all it is. They take the car too. If you got the keys in the car, or if you got some of these Kia boys, the Kia boys have finagled a way to start your car with a USB charger. I mean, it's crazy out here. Like I say, the solution: jail. Be tough on crime. Apple also says, God bless J6 MAGA Patriots in D.C. jail solitary. J6er Kyle Young sentenced to 86 months for fighting cops who provoked crowd with excessive force. Michael Burke got 0 months for murder of Ashley Babbitt. Also, Democrats answered messages on phone for Kyle Young kids. Tom Hanks said he only made 4 good movies. Your favorite? Obviously, for Tom Hanks, Castaway, Forrest Gump, and Captain Phillips, and what else? Now, hold on. I'm gonna get to the calls in a minute. I promise. What else? That was some things off of my mind. That was pretty much it. I think. I don't know about anything else. Yeah. Oh, Green Mile, but he wasn't the star in that. And that was Michael Clark Duncan, really. But definitely, Forrest Gump, Castaway, Captain Phillips. Those are the main thing right there. I don't know about anything else. Y'all can discuss amongst yourselves. But that's pretty much it. Footloose, no. Was that a movie or was that something else? That was like a super early. Big. That was a good one too. Big was good from way back in the day. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what? He wasn't lying, because he had some pretty kind of mid TV kind of movies. Toy Story obviously was good, but that's not really my lane. Yeah, but the main thing, Forrest Gump. Sleepless in Seattle, yeah, absolutely. Tom Hanks, he's not dead. No, he's not. There was an interview. He said he only made 4 good movies. All right, so let's keep on going here. ABL, do I golf? Yes, I do. I like. I walk. I prefer to walk. Not done a hole in one yet. Apple also says, ABL, are you an intense driver? Road rage, chill. I'm a strategic driver. I'm an intelligent driver. I don't have road rage. But I drive strategically. I can be aggressive when I need to and also passive when I need to. I can just chill. But sometimes, like if you're driving in these city environments, you got to be more aggressive and take some risks. But if you're like on a country road, you can kind of chill and just coast. So it's all situational. Be strategic when you drive in. But I never lose my cool. I don't get road rage and nothing like that because I don't want no problem. You know, I'm a smooth operator. I don't want no problems. But okay, MIT says Biden hands look just like that quarterback after he got hit. Yeah, you're talking about Tua. Yeah, that was very scary. Thank you to Hammer AZ for your donation. Thank you to Blast Radius who says average people aren't worried about this climate change crap except the far left who are well off. Average people are more worried about the bills and feeding their families. Correct. Tu Vong, if I tore it down, I'm sorry, man. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. But they say wokeism is affecting video games too. Did you see the backlash the community manager for the new Saints Row game got? She called fans terrorists for hating on that game and calling it woke. That's crazy. That's been going on for quite a while too. Yeah, the video game industry, because a lot of these people a lot of the wokesters are in the video game industry, working as developers and as marketers and whatnot. They're in the game industry, ruining it as well. And the fans are like, hey man, we don't want this woke trash. And the people that work there are kind of like fighting against their own fans. It's crazy. That gets a Dent Machine Company who says, did you see the Las Vegas indoor park shooting and riot? Hundreds of kids acting wild. China setting up police stations in Canada. Check your email. I'll check it out. And I've not seen that, but I'm going to check it out and see what's going on with it. But now time for the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. It is all good. All right. Should the Braves change their name? No, they shouldn't. 1-2-937. You on the line?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
I wanted to just call and talk about, my grandmother, she was 96 years old, and she passed away not too long ago. And she voted Democrat all her life until Trump came around.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I think that was a real good thing. I heard there was a story out today. There was another woman. She had been in the Democratic Party for 34 years, and now she's going to leave and turn Republican. Brother, I'm telling you, there is an awakening happening right now.
Oh,
the
yeah.
woke are gone.
People are just starting to get fed up because a lot of times they vote Democrat their whole life and they're happy with what they've done. But then when they start to see some weird stuff happening and all these like drag queen story time, like they've gone so far to the left, they've abandoned the average person. So there's a big awakening going on because of what the Democratic Party has done to themselves. People are starting to, they can see it now and they don't like it. They're going different directions. So I love it.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's great for America. We need to get back to our roots, morality, integrity, honesty, respect. We have a constitution for a reason. This is the best experiment the world has ever had. And we need to hang on to that and just love this country and just understand and tell the truth and just and tell people the truth. We need to speak up and just not be scared anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Well, I just wanted to get my little point across there. I love your show. I'm glad when I get to call you, and I hope you're around for a long time, baby. I love you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Good call. Let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's JB Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, not a lot, man. Man, you're on point tonight, dude. You're just killing it with these topics and commentary. I love it, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a couple things. Talking about that Piers Morgan interview with Jordan Peterson about the incel thing. I don't know. That thing is whole new to me because, I mean, you know, I'm kind of a loner dude. You know, I'm not married. I don't have any children. You know, which I'm kind of glad because I was never ready to have children, and I'm not paying child support like a lot of my friends are.
That's right.
Right, and I'm just you know out here minding my own business, not bothering anybody. So, you know, I'm not causing any harm. About television, what's his name? Trevor Noah. I think what's finally happening, and this is a good thing, is that I think people are finally getting tired of this woke bullcrap. And it's really starting to show because a lot of these corporations, like the major networks, you know, are being like, okay, we can't keep doing this because people are tuning out and they're going to the internet and watching shows like yours.
That's right.
And that's why every time I get, you know, like some junk mail from like Dish Network or whatever, when it's like, oh my God, yeah, I just read it. I'm like, you want me to pay $50 a month for 100 channels I'll never watch? I mean, come on. I mean, I'm pretty sure that satellite companies are going to be going down pretty soon. I mean, I don't see how they can keep lasting. I mean, I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I got fiber optic, so I can watch whatever the heck I want.
That's right.
You know. And the last thing I'll say, I'll keep it quick. That list that you had from Jordan Peterson, I gotta admit that one about keeping your room clean. Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that. You know, that's one of my weaknesses. You know, I'm not a hoarder, but you know, I am kind of a little bit of a clutterer. You know, yeah. But I do pet cats. I'm a cat guy. I always have been my whole life. But I do have a dog also. But yeah. So anyway, I'll sit back and enjoy the rest of the show, buddy. Love you, man. Love everybody in the chat, and love all the topics tonight.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
All right, now. All right, good call. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you want to call into the show, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box, and it's also right here in the ticker at a certain point. It'll come across the screen right at the bottom. There's also an email for Skype. You could call in through that, and you could be right here on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner. There it is right there. Look, 434-658-1220. Check it on out. 712, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, it's Jeff. How are you tonight, sir?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Good. Good transition from the last call. Been meaning to call you. Just tiny little bit of Marxism creeping into our society here and there. And I have an LG TV. It's going to kind of sound strange, but I have an LG TV. And out of 300 or 400 stations they give you for free, they're called internet stations, IP-100s, etc. Why is it that all of a sudden Newsmax is gone?
Oh, interesting. So wait a minute.
Yeah, and
so was Newsmax there for a free station, or what's the story behind that?
I was watching Newsmax on these stations for like about maybe 6 months to a year, whatever. And you know, when I got turned on to it, around the time I started watching your show about 2 years ago. I guess it's been about 2 years, and close to 2 years. Anyway, all of a sudden, about 4 months ago, it just magically disappears, and then every other station's still there, 300-400 stations, whatever it is. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. Whoever controls the stations don't want us to hear Newsmax.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised. You know, they kind of want to just They give you certain things and just put it out there for you. Okay, watch this, but don't watch that. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either, but it's just kind of scary, like the depth of the Marxism that's creeping into our society. I'm 50, and I remember 1980. We didn't have any of this. We folded the flag. We didn't let it drop. And then I went to college. You felt the Marxism slightly from the teachers, not as bad as I'm sure they feel it now.
That's right.
So I appreciate it, ABL, and you have a good evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yep, take care.
All right, shout out to the caller. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Have you been paying attention to the Nordstrom pipeline story?
Yes.
And particularly on our involvement in this?
Yeah, I've been looking at it. I think that we are involved, although I can't necessarily prove it, but I think that we're involved with it because it just kind of makes sense in my opinion.
Well, we're definitely involved in it. If you take a look at Black Conservative Patriots videos as well as the Gateway Pundit about it, there's clear proof on that. And especially, I'm not sure if you remember this, back in January before the invasion of Ukraine happened, Victoria Nuland, I believe her name is, said, quote, if and when Russia invades Ukraine, Nord Stream 2 will not be implemented. Could be wrong, but there's a short clip of the video online if you're interested, which lets me know perfectly well that this was purposely planned, especially given Biden's ties to Ukraine and benefits they're getting on certain boards, particularly Hunter Biden.
Yeah, I saw the video where Joe was talking about that, saying that if Russia invaded Ukraine, then Nord Stream 2 wouldn't go on. And then the lady was asking him, well, like, how are you going to stop that? Isn't it Germany in control of that? He was like, look, we'll make sure it doesn't happen. So from him saying that, yes, and then for the pipelines to magically have some kind of disruption, and then the next day or that same day, a new pipeline opened up that did not involve Russia, it seems pretty fishy at best.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much from what I read, the damage has been irreparable. So pretty much all this was trying to provoke a response from Russia, and what nobody seems to be addressing is the fact that both Biden, UN, and NATO has purposely got us involved in World War III on purpose all to protect themselves.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, ABL, have you noticed that the FBI has put all sort of sites and other independent sites on a, quote, enemies list?
I've not seen that.
Well, again, there's an article on the Gateway Pundit about that. Check it out because it's pretty alarming and begs the question to any leftists or any trolls in the chat is, again, explain how we on the right are the fascist ones when this is exactly what fascists do by censoring and controlling the information that you can't or cannot see.
Right, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, two small things. I know I've asked this question before about the Black community, and I know what your response is about the community already being dead, but here's a big question I want to ask you and everybody else is, have you pretty much noticed that the left, mainly Democrats, always use Black people as their attack dogs, foot soldiers, or human shields from any legit criticism along with identity politics?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that, and also they try to link us to the LGBT. So they use LGBT. Mm-hmm. If you're Black or LGBT or some kind of non-white person, that's what they normally do.
Yeah. The point I'm getting at that is that black people want to say white people are their enemy, but when the left kind of weaponizes them to go after anybody who opposes the Democrat Party, that kind of makes them to the same equivalent as those young, naive Nazi soldiers who were raised up in the 1930s under Adolf Hitler, if you kind of think about it. So, again, it goes back to the question of how does that make anybody on the right who's conservative a fascist when you actually fit the exact mold of what those people were during World War II. Same thing goes with all these attacks they're doing on the Italian prime minister now.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's kind of what's going on with that, man. But thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All righty. Let's get to some more here. And thank you all for calling. You guys are fantastic tonight. Very good calls. 424 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. My name's Zuma Dog in Los Angeles, California.
All righty. What's happening?
First of all, I'd like to say you're the best. You're a real treat and pleasure. You're a treasure for America, I truly believe. Let me just say, I'm 58 years old, man. I can't believe what I'm seeing. We're in big trouble because of the brainwashing that's going on with the millennials and Generation Z. And it's not going to be reversed with the things like, take Ezra Miller, for example. You have to call Ezra Miller they, them. You can't call him he. That would hurt his feelings. So if you're doing a news story talking about how he's holding women as sex slaves, you don't want to use the wrong pronoun. You don't want to offend them. The thing with the testosterone blockers and, everybody's trying to turn the boys into the girls and the girls into the boys. It's a real problem. You ask your person, these woke people, gee, do you think we should close the borders? No, because America was stolen from the Indians and it's not America's right to close the borders. It's like the brainwashing, bro. We're not going to be able to recover from it. And everything is blamed on the Republicans in the woke mind and the leftist Democrats. They have people believing anything that's bad, it's because of the Republicans. When clear, oh my gosh, ABL, help! What do you see the biggest problem is right now that we're confronting?
That's kind of a deep question. Our biggest issue, like, what do you mean as far as like social problems, economic, or just anything?
Just anything for the future. What do you think the big problem for the future is going to be?
I think the education system, that's the biggest problem, because you could solve a lot of issues with people that are educated to be able to change it. But if you're going to get the young generation from the womb believing in all this stuff like men can have babies, I mean, things that when I was a kid, I was taught the exact opposite. I was taught that a man can have a baby, women have babies, men can't have babies. The basic things that we know to be true are now up for grabs. It's kind of questionable. If that's going on and the kids are taught like that, that's going to be bad for the future, because they'll be the ones out there running the country, operating society. They're going to be engaging in infrastructure and making sure all the bridges and tunnels are operational. We're going to be in trouble if we have kids that don't understand what a man is and what a woman is. So that's the biggest thing, education.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, man. You brought a great point, because they're using the education system to brainwash the kids into all this stupidity. When you showed that lady trying to put propane in her tire, we are in trouble. And there's nothing made me more sad than seeing all those little teenagers with those high-powered guns. And I'm the one that wondered, how do they get them? How do they get the money for that? And, what's the future? And you know how bad the crime is in New York, and they keep on saying something's going to be done. We have to do something. I just see it getting worse and worse. Like ABL, when I was I'm 58, when I was a kid, when I was like 8 years old, I could walk to school. I'd walk to the candy store. I'd walk all around my neighborhood. You can't do that anymore. Okay, so what we're seeing now, it's not going to improve. Thank goodness I lived when I lived, because boy, oh boy, are we in trouble. I'm kind of rambling, but the wokeism is just Help. Well, I'll let you take your next call, bro, but you do a fantastic show. I love the way you cover things. And, I know you're happy doing your niche. Someday maybe you'll have a national platform on Newsmax or something like that.
Hey, never know. That could happen, man. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, great call. Let's get to a few more. Let's go to 253 on the line. Who am I speaking to? Oh, 253 hung up. All right. 646 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What? Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, turn the shit down in the background for me, please. Turn the volume down in the background.
Turn it down.
Yes.
Okay.
All righty. So what's going on?
I just wanted to talk about, I'm just calling in. I love your show, and I wanted to call in and talk about, Biden. I think he has Parkinson's dementia. I work with elderly people, and he has all the signs for that. I can show you that. I do think the U.S. has something to do with the pipeline. I love Trump. I don't like people bashing Trump because I understand why he got roped into the poison shots. But I got so much I could talk about. I'm a patriot.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So I thank you for calling in. If you want to say anything right quick, we could do that.
All right. What?
If you want, okay.
Wait, am I on live right now?
You're on live right now. Yes, you are.
I'm on live right now. I didn't know that. Okay, so I will tell you that Biden has all the signs of Parkinson's dementia and trying to seize that. Russia, all the enemies see that, obviously. But I'm going to tell you, it's what you said with the hands. When you put Mr. Burns up, that was so hysterical. I never thought of that before. But on a serious note, the 90-degree angle with the arms and the shuffling is Parkinson's dementia. I work with elderly people. That's what they do when they have that. He doesn't know. This is so dangerous. It's World War III. It's unbelievable what's going on. And, I just have to tell you, I think that all people have to come together and we have to try to do something to save this country, because this is unbelievable what's happening. And he's definitely, clearly there's something wrong with him. Who's running him? The thing is, China, all these other leaders, all our enemies, the leaders around the world of those countries, they know somebody's running him or they know it's them. Either way, it's a problem.
That's right. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
So that's really all I could say today, ABL. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing, and keep it up.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, great call. You guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, give the video a thumbs up if you're not done so already. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so as well. The phone lines are blowing up. Y'all, please give me some time. I try to get everybody on as soon as possible. 971 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, how's it going, ABL? Just wanted to call and just touch up on a few things that were brought up in here, if that's cool with you. My name's Norman, if that's cool. But as far as Georgia Maloney, it's really sad to say, but honestly, she is not who she says she is. If you do some digging into a lot of her past and the things that she supported like that green pass. Basically, if you don't have a vaccination record on your phone where they could track you and everything, that you shouldn't be allowed to go anywhere, let alone leave your house. She supported a lot of this WEF policy, and looking back, she's actually, if you do more research like everybody else on here, and I highly recommend it, don't just take my word for it. Nobody take my word for it on here. but because I want people to actually do the research on it, is that she is indeed part of the WEF Davos group. She's actually gone there multiple times. She has endorsed a lot of during the pandemic, she endorsed a lot of the vaccination. Oh, I already said that. Yeah, it's the vaccinations, the mandates and everything like that. And she's also connected to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. And this is just one thing, a warning for a lot of conservatives out there is there's got to be more research done into these people, because we keep choosing the lesser of two evils. We're thinking that we're getting somebody that's on our side, but we just keep choosing these Trojan horse people that are going to keep continuing down that globalist type of path, which is very, very dangerous, because like me, I still already hold and it's not going to be a popular opinion, I know that for sure, but it's an opinion that not everybody should be allowed to vote. And I know it sounds extreme, but I mean, we have a lot of NPC types, so we have a lot of especially on the left, we have a lot of people that are just voting because somebody told them on the news, or CNN told them, hey, these people are bad, or these, and they don't want to do any research or any type of self-reflection as to what is going on in the world. And I think there has to be some kind of policy enacted to basically go back to how it was, not racial type stuff, hell no, not that kind of stuff, back to when the Constitution was and everything was first enacted, when America was first going about its business, where only a certain group of people should be allowed to vote, honestly, and it should be where everybody gets an opportunity to basically earn that right to vote, kind of like in Starship Troopers, if you want an example, where you have the option to be a citizen, you have the option to earn that right to vote and use voting, which is a form of voting as taught in the movie. It's a show of force. It's a show of violence. It's a type of violence, not physical violence or violence burning things down, but using politics as a form of force to basically get people kind of in orders, basically, kind of like police and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm making it too clear, because I'm trying to make a good reflection on this, but basically is that's basically everything I had to say. And there was also another thing, what's it called? It was the All Lives Matter thing. I'm all for the police and everything, but I still do think that there needs to be reform done, because as far as the police officers having this, what's it called? This what's that thing where they're immune from getting fired because they've been there that long? What is it I forget what the word is, but it kind of like what teachers have, where they have that thing where they can't get fired even if they do something really messed up, because whatever. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. Qualified immunity. We need to get rid of qualified immunity, and we need to get rid of basically the unions, police unions, because in the end, a lot of them, they don't help to basically solve the issues of the police officers, and they basically make it so that police officers are being looked at and frowned upon, because being looked at in a negative light, because why would you fix a solution? Why would you?
Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna just bump. Okay, so qualified immunity, that's not what you were saying. Qualified immunity is when if you do a certain thing on the job, it removes a lot of the legal liability from you that would be on a normal citizen. So, for example, if you have to shoot somebody and they die because they were a threat, you have that on you, so you wouldn't be facing a trial or any kind of investigation normally for that, because you're an officer, you had to do that. That's part of your job. You can get fired still for doing certain things. That isn't you could get fired for whatever the reason may be. I think you've been kind of conflating seniority when you're talking about school teachers with qualified immunity. It's not the same thing. But go ahead.
Okay. No, thank you for that. Well, this is the thing, is that one of the things with the dangers with that is that, if you look up on the video, I know there's a lot of stuff on Twitter going on, but there's a video of these police officers telling this dude, he's just this white kid that's I don't know if they were at a hotel in the apartment complex, but they were basically playing Simon Says with him, and they were telling him, hey, if you do this, if you do that, We want you to crawl to us. And they were kept yelling at him like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And he was like tired. He couldn't hold his hands up and he couldn't crawl. At some point in time, he basically just, they kept doing this for like 5 minutes, just like getting him to like, okay, put your hands behind your head. Okay,
I got you.
Get up.
But caller, you got to call. Listen, you got to caller. Listen, I got you, but you got to call it. But listen. I'm talking. I'm trying to interrupt because we got like limited time. You got to kind of speed the story up a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Speed the story up a little bit because we got to get to the. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, there's just some things that need to be just done to basically just make the police officer, like the people, basically take their oaths to heart. That's it. That's basically all I'm saying. You know.
All righty.
Yeah. But thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. You have an awesome show. You're an awesome dude, and thank you for listening. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Very verbose. Sometimes you gotta just pump your brakes and drive slow. Shout out to Kanye West. All righty. Let's go ahead and get to a lot of calls on the line tonight. Y'all hang tight. 404 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL. This is Atlanta's in the house. What to say, Atlanta?
Alrighty. ATL.
ATL all the way. Sir, I have to share something with you, and that is I did watch the Trump rally for most of the evening. He went off at about 9 o'clock, just fire at the end. He's in full orange man mode. Oh, my goodness. He was so orange, I didn't know what to do. All I could do was laugh. But I'm not saying that Trump is, perfect or that he is absolutely, the bee's knees all the time. But let me tell you what this man did. Gave a phenomenal speech, and walking off stage, he stopped, looked around, and somebody said something to him, and he caught a flying, one of the red caps, caught it in the air. He gave a look at this person. He said something. Next thing you know, a pen is flying through the air. This man caught this pen in one hand, caught the hat with one hand, caught the pen with the other hand, signed the hat, then threw it back into the crowd to the person who threw it to him. Tell me that man is not bad, and we're gonna reelect Mr. Burns.
Yeah, we can't do that. We got to put if you got pick between Trump and Mr. Burns, Trump all day long.
Right. Well, so here's my whole side. It was absolutely. I mean, he was boss the way he did that. I mean, you could tell it was completely unscripted. The Secret Service was scrambling, but he handled it, and he. Just on the fly, just bam, 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 just caught it, signed it, threw it back, caught it with one hand, caught it with the other hand. It was so impressive. I want to, if get a job or whoever makes memes out there, if you watch the very last 1 minute before he absolutely leaves the stage, somebody needs to make a meme, but show Biden just standing there and somebody throws like a stuffed animal or something at him and just bonk, it just kind of hits him in the head. I'm just saying. And you know what, ABL, you have the best the best crew in your chat. You really do. You have some really good people, really good mods too.
Oh, right on. Absolutely. I love them. They're fantastic.
They are. Have a great night. Love the show.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to Trump going orange man mode. 708. Hello, 708.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, I can. Hang on a minute. I got to turn my TV down.
All righty.
ABL, you there?
I'm here.
I'm very upset with you.
What did I do? What happened?
I think that you have purported yourself to be a libertarian, correct?
No.
Or a person who, do you support liberty and free speech? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So I called into your show last week and I talked about a multitude of things because you talked about a multitude of things. It'd be easy if you just talked about one or two things on your show that people could focus on, but you don't. You talk about everything under the sun. That's fine. What upset me was I happened to mention something about Lizzo, which apparently set off your community into hell, apparently. All I was trying to say about that woman was she's not the devil. Everybody's trying to portray her to be. She's a big fat woman who has some talent and has been given a voice in this country for some reason. I can't even imagine why this woman is as popular as she is. But what annoys me is that I spoke to you last week and you had your conversation with me, and then I called in after the fact and I was on the phone for an extended period of time after calling and calling and calling, and you blew me off. You said,
yeah, I remember now.
I already talked to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about you.
No.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Listen.
I don't want to hear about you anymore.
Caller, listen to me.
Spoke to you.
Wait, caller, ma'am, listen to me now. Watch this. I have a policy. Okay, but you can't. If you're talking, you can't listen. Now, I have a policy on my show where I only have one call per night per person. You're not any different than anybody else. I'm saying the same thing.
I didn't know you had that policy.
I know. Caller, listen.
Is that policy
Caller, listen to me now.
One call
caller,
per
listen.
person.
Caller, ma'am. I hang up on you now. I hang up on you now. Be nice to me, okay? Be nice.
Well,
I'll be nice
to you.
And I need you to be quiet for me for a minute.
You're gonna hang up on me.
All right. Bye. 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 I was trying to be so nice. I was trying to be nice because it's a lady. It's like somebody grandma. You know what I'm saying? But check it out. I don't care who you are. I have a one call per night policy. I don't care if you are black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, young, old. That's just what it is. Now, she didn't know that. I understand that. That's why I told her that I have a policy of one call per night. It's simple. It's it. All right, because I got to be fair to everybody else. People want to call in. How you going? If you call in twice, I talk to you twice on the same night about, then that means I have 8 callers right now. They're trying to get in. Then one of them can't get in. It couldn't get in at all. So that's all. I mean, now what's going to happen is she's calling now. If you do that a lot, I'm gonna just block you. So I mean. Matter of fact, I try to be so nice to people, you know what I mean? But people just, I don't know. Let's keep on going here. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi, ABL. Wanted to sit there and say, long time listener, love your show. I'll be very sweet and quick about this. I know, short on time, probably even shorter now. But one thing I wanted to point out, like everybody knows that out in LA, the homeless problem is crazy and everything and all that. And I'm happy I moved out, but I went on Google Maps the other day just to see what certain things, how see if anything's changed. And what I wanted to point out, what I noticed is that I think Google is trying to hide the majority of the homeless encampments. If I know a lot of homeless encampments there that's been there, 4 or 5 years, and if you're far enough, you can see the homeless encampment, but you have to zoom in. But then when you go where the homeless encampment is, it's gone. And so I started noticing this, and I was like, I'm surprised that nobody's pointing this out. Like, I could tell you, like, right now, Woodman and Bradford, I think, right there, out in North Hollywood, like, there's homeless encampment there. You get close enough, it's gone. If you're far enough, it's there. Or right off Nordoff on the 405, right on the underpass, same thing. Or there's cars and trucks that are blocking off the homeless encampments. Anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. I don't know if anybody else has noticed the same thing, but that being said, I mean, what are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. So you think Google's editing the pictures so the camps aren't there?
Oh, I know they are.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the expense is.
It's probably very massive. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a request from California's government to do that. It's like, hey, people we're trying to increase tourism. So if they're Googling some of these addresses and they're seeing the homeless encampments, it's not a very good look. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. And they probably would say, well, we have privacy concerns because if the Google car is going around and people are outside their camps, then you could see their faces sometimes, but that can easily be solved by censoring their faces, not censoring the entire camp. So it's like it's not there. That's crazy, but not surprised because Google's headquarters, they're in California. The headquarters is right there. So they do special things for their particular state, and they can be close with the government, working hand in hand to do certain things to make them look better. Won't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just, like I said, I wanted to make it short. I wanted to go ahead and point that out. Maybe, even the viewers can go ahead and start pointing that out. I mean, that doesn't mean that all of them are gone, but I've noticed a lot are scrubbed, and, the only way you can see them is if you're far enough and you guys zoom in, and usually it kind of blends in a little bit with like the trees and the brush and whatnot, but they're there. They're there. I know they're there. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you again for the show. Hope you have a great night and you have a wonderful, night.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Great call. Let's go to 860 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox, buddy. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Well, I wanted to tie everything together, World War III and everything. Problems that we have across America. Everything. You have to understand the vaccines were not for the virus. The virus was for the vaccines. There that was pimping vaccines. Get the vaccine. Get the vaccine. What's that billionaire's name again? The guy that doesn't have a college degree and he's not a computer programmer, but he became a billionaire running a computer company. Whose parents were with Margaret Sanger.
Talking about Bill Gates?
Eugenicist. Oh, yeah, Billy Gates. I've been on the Lolita Express 17 times. Bill Clinton, 26 times?
Yeah.
Because the passengers have to be listed on the flight logs. That's federal aviation regulation. Ain't no pilot going to violate that because they'll lose their license. But we know everything about all those. If there was anything against Trump that could put him in jail, it would be all over the news.
Oh, yeah.
It would be all over the news.
Absolutely. They have nothing now. It's just like a dog and pony show.
Oh, yeah, it's all it is. It's just to get the weak-minded people that don't understand how the adult world works. I don't have to like my boss. I don't have to like my job to cash my paycheck on Friday. I don't have to like my president to know that he's doing a good job for the country and the world and humanity at large.
That's right.
Now, thank you, sir. I challenge everyone out there to look up Putin's speech to the world that he gave the other day. And then look at Trump's speech at Davos. Like I said in my super chat, Greta Thunberg is a Rothschild. In 2015, the head Rothschild said Putin is a traitor to the New World Order. Do you understand that? Putin is a traitor to the New World Order. In 2012, Obama passed into law that it was okay for the U.S. government to use the media for propaganda, which was illegal before then. It's the Mundt-Schmidt Act, and it's hidden inside the defense bill. It's tucked away. That's why they have to have 1,170 pages for Obamacare, because of all the stuff they got in there. Everything they're doing, the Democrats, Al Gore, all of them, where do they go every year for their elitist meeting? Davos. Remember when I read to you from the billionaire high-level aide to Mitterrand, the French president, in 1981, Weapons of Hyperconflict, where he says we shall create something?
Yeah.
A virus that will target the elderly and the fat. It doesn't matter. The weak will succumb to it. The fearful and the stupid will demand to be treated, but we shall have taken care of the treatment. Here's where it gets dangerous for America. Biden left $6 billion worth of our military-grade weapons in Afghanistan. He's taken the weapons out of our troops' hands right now. He's taking Carl Gustav's out of Special Forces' hands right now and sending them to Ukraine. They're being sold on the black market.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right. Yeah. And and he made it mandatory for them to take this poison that's causing blood clots, myocarditis, which is scar tissue of the heart. Did you ever hear about myocarditis before 2019?
Never in my life. My very first time hearing about it was during the scamdemic.
Exactly. And if you search Dr. Ryan Cole speaks at the White Coat Summit, this is back when Trump had that black lady who was born and raised in Africa up there on stage talking about hydroxychloroquine is a magic bullet for this, and they shot her down because they wanted you to get that vax. They didn't want you to. Joe Rogan got treated with horse dewormer, ivermectin. Ivermectin was invented by a man who won a Nobel Prize in medicine for a human treatment. And what it does is block the neurotransmitters for a parasite's brain. And it does similar things to a virus. I do a lot of research. I don't watch sports. I quit watching sports when Minnesota lost the Super Bowl for the fifth time. The first Super Bowl wasn't actually called the Super Bowl, but Minnesota lost it 4 times. But that's when I quit watching sports. That was a long time ago.
Right.
Then I started paying attention to what the politicians were doing, because that affects my life. And I just wanted to throw that out there. The Nord Stream pipelines, where they were destroyed at, is in NATO's sphere of influence. That's a highly patrolled area. You're not going to see Russian activity in there without NATO knowing about it. Period. I know that for a fact. As a member of the military and as a Navy brat, I know that for a fact.
Right on.
I'm not going to say anything about how I know or what, but I know for a fact. And even Putin said that in his speech the other day to the world. And that's all I got, brother. Love you. God bless. Let's pray that we don't have a nuclear war, because then I'm going to have to go full beast Rambo on Washington, D.C. when they're in their they're not going to be safe in that underground bunker. That underground bunker was designed to protect them from the righteous standing of being an American defending against communism, not about committing treason against their country. And that's all I see Washington as, a bunch of treasonous people right now.
Right on.
That's all I got, brother. Love your show. God bless America. God bless your listeners. And 1 call per person per night.
There you go. Thank you for your call, man. I appreciate you.
God bless. Take care.
All right. Great call. Let's get to some more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 253 on the line. Who am I speaking to? On 253. That's 2 times 253 done hung up before I can actually pick up. Stay on the phone. Don't hang up. Okay. Let's try one more time. 253 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, this is Shyla.
All righty. What's going on?
Nothing. I just wanted to say thank you for all of the reporting that you've done. The last 2 years has been when I started realizing all of the things and started getting into the politics and stuff. My name is Shy. I'm calling from Washington State, by the way.
All righty.
I just wanted to know what your thoughts were with the whole Ukraine and that whole NATO situation. I keep going back to your page to see if you reported on it yet. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
What do you mean? It's like as far as Ukraine announcing it when
Signing on with NATO?
Yeah, it's a bad idea because when NATO was first started, they were not supposed to go that far out to where Russia is.
Right.
So now that you're going to have, if Ukraine is accepted into NATO, that's going to be a problem. And also, Russia has declared certain parts of Ukraine as now part of the Russian Federation, no longer Ukraine. So if Ukraine tries to take those territories, make them be NATO, that's going to be a problem. If the U.S. or NATO attacks those places, that's going to be a problem. So overall, it's just not a good thing to do. I don't actually see them being part of NATO. I don't see them actually being able to do that and going through with it because I think NATO knows what that means. What NATO wants to do right now is have Ukraine not be part of NATO because they can go in there and attack Russia in a proxy war. But if Ukraine becomes part of NATO, that changes everything. Now they can't really do that the same way. So it'll be NATO attacking Russia directly. That'd be a problem. That'd be a serious problem.
This is all new territory for me. I'm still fairly new to the game. So I don't have time to sit here and do all the research. So I go to people, sources like you and Brandon Tatum and like Tim Pool, and I listen to your guys' reporting because a couple years ago I counted on the news a lot to give me all the information I needed to know. So anyways, part of this call is for me to just say thank you for all of the stuff that you're putting out there. It's definitely been helpful, especially to me, not having all that time to do the research and you spelling everything out for someone who is new to the game. So thank you, ABL.
No problem. Glad I could help.
Bye. Have a great night.
Same to you. Yeah, Ukraine becoming part of NATO, I don't really see happening. They're trying to. They put the video out there. We're going to do an accelerated process. I don't really see that happening. If they do that, that's going to be a big problem. NATO already turned down Zelensky. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, they're not that dumb. All right, let's go to. All right, 304 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Jeff from West Virginia. How you doing, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Just sitting here watching you, son. You're kind of having to be a rabbi tonight.
I see.
You're having to cut them off right at the tip of their point. Yeah, you've only got a little bit of time, ladies and gentlemen. There's rules to this show. He don't even take my calls 2 times a night, and I'm a kind of a celebrity. Hey, what was that line that Joe Biden said, this 12 and 30 thing?
12 and 30?
Yeah, Joe Biden said something about her and 12, and how'd that line go?
I don't even know.
Joe Biden said something about she was 12, and I can't really say the whole line.
Yeah, talking about, I met her when she was 12 and I was 30, talking about somebody in the crowd.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because that is completely disgusting. But I was going to say, when he said that, I thought he was starting to read the first words of his new novel.
Hey, won't be surprised.
But anyways, so I had to call in and kind of defend you a little bit. This lady wants to call in and be, just like I say, he doesn't let anybody call in twice, ladies and gentlemen, not even me. And you'll have to tell her there's another rule, too. If you're going to talk out of your butt, sit on your phone so we can understand you. That goes for Ivan, too, right, bud?
There you go. Exactly.
Hey, man, well, I wasn't going to call in tonight. I got a coin show I got to get to tomorrow and stuff, so I'm going to get off here, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to my man, West Virginia, from Dub V, what we say. All righty, let's go to 206 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Steve from Missouri.
All righty, what's happening?
Yeah, I just wanted to start out by thanking you for making me laugh today. I know it's some serious stories you're covering, but you still got a funny way of putting it that kind of keeps it light. But what I wanted to talk about actually was the Nord Stream pipeline thing, and just kind of concerned about something that I'm finding suspiciously absent from the conversation is the possibility that China might actually be involved, because it occurs to me, like the three biggest dogs on the planet, basically us, Russia, and China. And if they could get us tangled up with Russia, China benefits, with all this posturing and big talk that Biden's been doing. It kind of seems like, it's impossible to think that might be something that could happen, It might sound a little paranoid, but, these things actually do kind of happen behind the scenes and, in clandestine little circles and stuff. But I just got done reading a book. It's called Red Star Rogue, and it's a story about 1968, how like a rogue Russian nuclear submarine actually tried to fire a nuke off at the United States, and they were going to try and blame it on China. I don't know how they knew all the details of it, but with all the evidence involved in this sub going down, and I guess we had all the detection capabilities to find out, that they had actually ignited the missile and it somehow blew up on the sub. So it never actually landed, but it happened like 100 miles off the coast of Hawaii. And it just blew my mind when I was reading that, because I'd never heard about it before. And this book is detailing all the papers that have come out, I guess, with the, what do you call that? The Information Act. But it was some pretty serious business. Russia disavows it like, it was a rogue agent or rogue submarine. Like they didn't have anything to do with it, but their intent was to start a war between the U.S. and China. And then, Russia would be the obvious benefactor, having the U.S. tied up with them, not as bad as it would be now as back in 1968. But, consider the fact now, though, if we got tangled up with Russia, that leaves, the other biggest dog out there not embroiled in a fight. And, they can go ahead and do what they want with Taiwan and, and all their other economic plans, basically. But, like I said, it seems a little paranoid, but I wouldn't I wouldn't completely dismiss it. In other words, I got my eye on China. I got my eye on China right now over that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that could be a possibility. But the only thing about China, if China was involved, see, China and Russia have like kind of an alliance. So that'll mess that up. And they're right on the border with Russia. So that'd be a problem. So I don't really see them doing that. It's possible, but again, that'll mess up because Russia depends on that pipeline because that's their leverage, because they supply a lot of the natural gas to Europe through Germany. So if that gets destroyed, then it's like they're losing out on their money. It wouldn't make any sense, but it'd make more sense for Russia to cut it off at the source. So I don't see.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have to sabotage it. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You good?
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying. They have the tap right there. They can cut it off. And their alliance between Russia and China is kind of an uneasy one. It's more of a relationship of convenience. You know what I mean? It's like they're only friends because they're both kind of at odds with everybody else. So it's not a friendly relationship. It's kind of more of a relationship of convenience. But they don't have the best history between each other.
Yeah, but something like that, that'd be a different kind of escalation right there. That you're talking about a war type of provocation. So I don't think they would go to that extreme. I don't believe so. Is it possible? Of course, but I don't think that they would do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They've been suspiciously silent about this whole thing, so it just kind of makes me look even harder at them. But yeah, like I said, it sounds kind of conspiratorial, but at the same time, they stand to benefit in a lot more ways because of all their plans and ambitions that we're kind of standing in the way of, and other things that they can't do because Russia, because of their alliance with Russia. So it would definitely free them up in a lot of ways. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just wanted to put it out there because, like I said, I don't hear anybody talking about it, and I just kind of thought, like, they're just as suspicious as anybody. I think of the U.S. being less likely just because of all the bold talk. We would know we were the most likely suspect if we were to do anything like that. You know what I mean? Especially with all the posturing that Biden's done. So,
right on.
But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there and kind of see what you thought about it. But anyway, great show tonight, and thank you. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care.
All right, great call. And the number to call, you guys know, 434-658-1220 is always in the description. And we got time. The time flies. It's almost 11 o'clock already. I mean, I feel like I just sat down like 5 minutes ago. It's crazy. But time flies when you're having fun. 216 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. I'm a long-time listener.
Hold on. One second. You have the stream on in the background? You turn it down for me?
No, I don't want to be on the show. I just need to know how.
Okay, all right. Caller, I'm gonna just save you because I could tell what's going on. You're drinking a little bit. Thank you for calling in, but I don't want to have you embarrass yourself on the show. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you. 843 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I heard you well.
Oh, am I live?
You're live on the air.
Oh, well, hello, Anthony. How are you, my friend?
Everything's all good about yourself.
I am wonderful, and I wanted to thank you right off the bat for all your efforts in getting information out to people and helping them wake up. I do that myself on my side, and it still floors me to see how people have reacted with what Biden had said about his threat on the pipelines. And I actually was in the presence of somebody that is a liberal and was listening to the same thing that I was listening to. And it was very obvious, that Biden made a threat. And this person says, wow, I just can't believe that. And so I said, well, I can't believe that either. He had a lot of, gumption to get up there and threaten on live TV like that. It's obvious. And this person says, no, that's not what I meant. I just can't believe that Putin would do that to his own pipelines and damage himself. So I'm like, that's what you got out of this? And so it just blows my mind. There is still a lot of people out there that has not woken up and is still drinking the Kool-Aid and seems to think, that Biden is just an elderly that deserves to have some kind of special treatment, even with his gas, But I see it as with this incident with the pipelines, it's like, that's like, if you look at it as a risk game and you're looking at the players on the field, that was actually a strategic move to cause conflict, okay? Because who are they going to blame? You got people thinking, oh, Putin did this to himself. No, Putin did not do that to himself. He holds the switch. He can cut that off on his side. But Biden is causing conflict, which is like a major marker that there's tensions rising on this game board. So where is this going to lead? What's going to happen? Everybody's curious, what's going to be said and done. And I'm paying attention, and I'm watching a lot of people and listening to what they have to say. And thank goodness that the majority of us is on the same page. That means there's more of us awake now than, say, 10 or 15 years ago. Thank God. But the whole point of getting on this call, my friend, was to thank you for all your effort, because I really do appreciate it. And I know it's very hard and difficult to get out there and get people to wake up and pay attention and actually give a crap. So, and people like you, you know, makes it a lot easier for those who have questions, who do seek answers. So I commend you, my brother, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye, my friend.
Fantastic call. Thank y'all for that. It means a lot to me. I get calls like that where it's like you could tell it's very personal. So yeah, shout out to all you guys. You guys are fantastic. Like I said, I could not do the show without you. Not at all. I got time for one more, and then I wrap it on up, put the bowl cleaner on top. If you've been drinking, just enjoy your drink at the house. You know, if you're calling in, you think you sound better than what you do. It's like singing in the shower. You singing in the shower, you sound like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, some of the best singers in the world in the shower. But when you out there just in the regular normie space, it ain't the same way. Your voice not the same. 732, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Everything's all good. About yourself?
I'm bugging out on your beard.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm trying my best to make it happen.
You know that hat that you got is equals 3, right? 1776.
We said what happens now?
Your hat, the hat that you're wearing, 1776.
Yeah.
Equals 3.
Oh, I
put
did
that number together. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, you know why I'm calling you, man?
What's up?
Hey, yo, I lost my father, man. 3 weeks ago, he died, bro.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
September 9th.
You said December the
He
9th?
was my September 9th, yeah, he passed on. But guess what? Our birthdays were together. Like his birthday was September 16th, and mine was the 18th. I'm like, yo, you never die on your birthday.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like my
it's crazy.
Yeah, I was born a few days later, so on the 22nd. So we got days like the birthday is like right almost in the same week.
Oh, so you're a Virgo too?
That's right. Last day, September 22nd.
Anyway, I just wanted to call you, let you know about that, because that, you know, it was just, it's been like haunting me. I'm like, oh my, I don't know, everybody goes through death, everybody dies or whatever, but it's like something crazy when your father and mother dies. You're like, really? You're not supposed to die.
Right. How old was your father?
What I'm calling for, I wanted to throw that in there first because, you know, big respects to my family. But my name is June, June. I'm from New Jersey. Okay. And what I'm trying to tell you is what I want to comment on is that our government, I'm born and raised in New Jersey my whole life. I'm 54 years old. Okay. Our government has been lying to us forever. You can go backwards if you want. You want to go to COVID. You want to go to 9/11. You want to go to the Gulf of Tonkin. You want to go to Ruby Ridge. You ever hear about Waco, Texas?
Yes.
People were burned alive there, babies and everything, by the government. Okay? I mean, people forget that, yo, for you to know what's going on today with the COVID and all this nonsense, monkeypox and all this crap, the government's been lying to us forever. You know, it's funny, like, we could vote for like a Democratic president or a Republican president, right? But we can't vote to change the government. It's almost like the NFL, right? You got the AFC and the NFC, but it's still the NFL. In other words, like, government, you want to change that? Change the government. You can't. You never will. It's like we live in like a big lie. Like my whole life has been a lie. A lie after lie after lie. What's the next lie? ABL, you tell me. Let's take a pool. What's the next lie? What they going to tell us next?
I don't know, man. I can't call it.
It's like they want you in fear, right? Every day, be afraid of this. Be afraid of that. Be afraid of this. Think about it. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this one. Ready? You ever hear of Henry Ford?
Yeah.
Ford Motor Company?
Right, yeah.
Okay. In World War II, Henry Ford was making engines that was going in Hitler's Jeeps, in Hitler's trucks, and Hitler's vehicles. Once the Allies found out about it, which is called NATO today, they bombed it. They blew up that factory in Germany to smithereens. And guess what? Henry Ford sued the U.S. government and won. They made a song about it. Nobody talks about that. And Ford Motor Company, I thought he would have been hanged. They would have killed him for treason years ago. Right? Nobody talks about that.
I mean, that goes on nowadays. That goes on nowadays too, with the weapons and whatnot. I mean, who's making the weapons? Who's making the steel? I mean, who's getting the blueprints?
Well, let me ask you a question. They say that Russia has the economy of New York State.
I believe
they have the economy of New York State, right? Well, whatever. How can they still be in a war like 9 months later and they have no money? Who's funding them?
Well, they have money, but they have resources more than the money. You know, that whole economy of New York State, the whole economy of New York State thing is kind of misleading because Russia is not that populous like the United States is. It's only like 100 million people.
Well, think about it. What's the biggest country in the world, ABL?
Biggest country in the world, wait, is it the U.S. or no? It's part China, and China to India.
Russia? No, the biggest country in the world is Russia.
You mean landmass? It'd probably be Russia.
Yeah, landmass is Russia. So think about it. The biggest country in the world is one of the poorest countries in the world. You think that's by mistake? They know what they're doing. Trust me. Yo, and ABL, last one. Ready, ABL?
Okay, go ahead.
0 is not a number.
Okay.
What does 0 mean?
Nothing.
Right. So how can that be a number? You know who benefits from that? Federal Reserve, because they make the notes. If they put $1 and they put 0, now it's 100. 0 means nothing. 0 is not a number. That comes from India. India made 0. So why is the West, right, going for something from the East? That's weird. I'm telling you, man, I love you, ABL. I've been watching you for a long time, man. I respect a lot. And, all I'm trying to do with you, because I'm a little bit older than you, is just share a little bit different knowledge. That's all.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL. Thank you, bro. And, thank you for your condolences with my dad, bro. It means a lot. And I'll be talking to you soon. Shave that beard, man. You're young.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
God bless, man. God bless you and your family. God bless you, bro. You're a good guy, bro. Keep up the good work. I'm still watching you, bro.
Got you, man.
Take care, bro. Take care.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. I remember those days. I remember those kind of conversations. Like, I used to say stuff like that. Well, like black and white aren't actually colors. It's devoid of color and it's all color. But if you go on the website, you can get black for a t-shirt. It is a color, but it's not technically a color. Okay. 0 is a number, but it's not an amount necessarily, if that makes any sense. So it's one of those things. It's not a quantity, but it is a number. That's probably the best way to say it. All right. But yeah, that'll be a wrap for me for the show tonight. You guys have been fantastic. Great show, great callers. I'll be back live again on Wednesday night, of course, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's right around 11. This is a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available audio only at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern Time, on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right, we got super chats right here. I'm going to go ahead and read, and then that'll be a wrap. Oh, thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check and everybody in line. I appreciate y'all for that. All righty. And let's go ahead and get to the supers, and we'll go ahead and keep rocking and rolling. Thank you to Hammer AZ for your donation. Thank you to Blast Radius. I read that one. Thank you to Tuvain. Thank you to Dent Machine Company. All right, I got you. Did you tweet me that? Or somebody tweeted me that about the Las Vegas indoor park shooting. I'm going to check that out. Thank you to Rita's Lover for becoming a member. Thank you to Dent Machine Company, who says Nash surgeon, was it Nashville surgeon or Nash surgeon, asked to remove before and after pics of underage patient used for advertising mastectomies. Reporter told by assistant DA it's not illegal. Yeah, it's crazy. So there was like some kind of transgender pre-op person that was new, and it was like showing before and after. But the person was like 15 years old. I'm not sure how that's legal to have a person like that on your website. Have that picture on your website. Thank you to Tam, who says, need to pray for future generation with the way the country's direction's going. And with the prayer, thank you for that. And I agree. Thank you to Bina for the good job emoji with the thumbs up. Thank you to the Dent Machine Company, who says, nobody talking about the illegal that ran down a deputy in Florida, was working on the road in Florida State road crew full of illegals that lied for him when he fled. Wow. So the illegal alien ran down a deputy in Florida, and then the road crew full of other illegals lied for the illegal that killed the deputy. See, that's called an invasion right there, right? They get to Richard Baranowski, who says Orange Man boss. They get to a dent machine company who says, shout out to Ivan's mama calling in to badger you about nonsense. That was great. That was great. Thank y'all for being here. Again, you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I couldn't do it without you. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. I'm here pretty much every day doing pre-recorded videos except for Sunday. Just one day I don't really post. But I'll be back on Monday posting live again. But until next time, and that'll be a wrap. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.